Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla. Take large man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time has come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced, and threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than red counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pascoe, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and Andy, Brendan Behan, Austin Ian, guerrilla cricket. Stick with us, cause you know we're not the kind of thing that you see on the TV and the radio. So vive la revolution. First they tried to buy us, but we would not be bought. Okay, we were, but then we ran away, and we will not be caught. Would not give up the ghost when they left us all for dead. They decapitated us, but we just grew another head. Chairman Mao, Jamie Howe, Ho Chi Minh, Asif Din, Václav Havel, Graham Saville, No Surrender, Percy Fender, Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket.
And good afternoon to everyone wherever you are in the world. It is time for the second T20. England battered 230 yesterday, and Tristan Stubbs was, well, quite amazing. Never seen him before, never heard of him before. Came in and smashed it all over the park. It was quite interesting, but South Africa eventually fell short. So I'm here for the second, and I'm joined by Max for the first time in a little while.
Hello. Yeah, it is a little while, isn't it?
It is a little while.
Good to be back.
Busy stagging it, by the sound of it.
stagging and weddinging.
Yes,
but,
well,
that's all out the way now. All the fun for the summer's over, so I'll come back to the cricket instead.
Well, good of you, good of you. And for the first time in quite a long time, it's Jules. Hello, Jules. How are you?
Hey, nice to be back. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Nice to be back.
That's the one, that's the one. So we have a game on here. England won the other day. I don't know if anyone saw it, but Moeen and Bairstow were quite crazy in the middle. South Africa really threw it away because they dropped 4 catches. And it led to an easy England win, which brings us on to the teams for today, because that's what I just forgot. They're playing 11s. South Africa have been put into bat. England won the toss for the first time in quite a while, actually, and are going to chase. So South Africa line up as Quinton de Kock, Reza Hendricks, Riley Rousseau, Henrik Klaassen, David Miller, Tristan Stubbs, Ondi Fetlakwayo, Kagiso Rabada, Keshav Maharaj, Lungi Ngidi and Tabraiz Shamsi. That's unchanged as far as I can see. And England unchanged: Jason Roy, Butler, Milan, Bairstow, Moeen Ali, Liam Livingstone, Sam Curran, Chris Jordan, Adil Rashid, Reece Topley and Richard Gleeson. That is completely unchanged. An unchanged 2 teams going into the second game. What are we expecting?
To be honest, I'm hoping. Don't know if I'm expecting. Hoping for South Africa to come back and give us a decider on Sunday, so that we've got something to look for. Something a little bit more competitive would be good. I think I'd back South Africa to get something out of this. I think they're a quietly good side in T20 cricket at the moment, and with Rabada coming back bowling well yesterday, if they can actually catch Johnny Bairstow, I think they'll be in with a good chance today.
Well, they will do. Fetlakoya was the weak link as well. He bowled one over and went for 33, and after that the wheels really came off. You hoping for the same, Jules?
Conversely, I think it'll be an England win, because if Reece Topley continues on the form he is at the moment, takes a few early wickets, I think this could all be over quite quickly, which makes it a bit of a shame for Sunday, but hey, them's the breaks.
He has bowled exceptionally well. I always thought he was really good when he came in, and he had so many problems with his back and all sorts, didn't he?
Yeah.
And that was a real shame. And he's come back looking as good as ever. He's just got that height and that little bit of extra pace that both Curran and Willie don't have. And the extra little bit of bounce.
Exactly.
And he gets the swing as well, doesn't he? So, he's great.
He just bowls really awkward lines and lengths, doesn't he? It's that sort of the angle as well, and just that sort of the channel and getting the extra lift. It does make it very difficult to play, especially with apparently the new white Kookaburra ball at the moment, which seems to just have a little bit more in it.
It certainly does. Yeah, the Kookaburra's always had a little bit in it. I mean, yesterday, like in the ODIs, the ball had been swinging maybe 6, 7, 8 overs, but yesterday it literally just swung for 2 overs when England were bowling. By Sam Curran's second over, he wasn't really getting much out of it. So I don't know if it's is that scientific? Is that they're actually, or are you just thinking that?
I think there is actually a
slight change.
Yeah, I think they may have changed it in 2019, perhaps after the World Cup, I suppose. It's something that Jack's picked up on the podcast. I think Jared Kimber's talked about it as well. I think there is actually something slightly different. What it is, I don't know. I'm not a scientific ball making expert.
Exactly, those swatty stats nerds.
I'll leave that to them.
Hey,
I'll just steal their work.
I don't mind stats, but then there's stats and then there's going a little bit too far, Right. South Africa going to bat. This man's going to bat.
Quentin the cock has a name you can mock, but he's really quite useful in cricket. I have heard that he can open the bat, even if he's not keeping wicket.
And this man.
You wear a shirt, the yellow and green. Hendricks, you are a run-scoring machine.
Yeah. And opening the bowling for England, same as last night. Seems to be a pattern. It's this guy.
Is he a batter or bowler? Sam Curran. What's his distinguishing feature? Sam Curran. His dad's from Zimbabwe. Sam Curran. And he's beloved by Liz Yates. Sam Curran.
So I've got to get my under in for the fall of the first wicket, guys, because it has to be done. I think I've won pretty much every game this summer.
Good stuff.
At some point, I've probably lost 2 or 3, but it's a pretty good bet. That one does. There's a little bit of swing first ball as Sammy Curran comes into Quint de Kock, lets it through the keeper, and there's no run. We'll get your messages up, and we'll get them in between overs.
You think Sam Curran and Issy Wong do have a bet on? I saw a tweet last night from Katie, who's been on Gorilla Cricket before, and I too was also getting a pair of them confused at the moment. I think I've been watching too much more sort of women's cricket rather than men's at the moment. I was like, what's going on here?
Driven by the Cock up to mid-off, and he'll get a single. The women have done really well against South Africa, haven't they? I've watched a little bit of it, seen a lot of, fair few of the highlights. They're looking good at the moment.
Yeah, the women are. I think it's good to see some of the younger girls coming through as well. See Alice Capsey, see Issy Wong in, and I mean I know there's a few hundred haters out there, but actually the 100 for the women's game has been quite big at raising the profile.
I was going to say, if there's one good thing about the 100, that is it.
Yeah. No, it has been definitely. Well, it's because it's on normal TV. I mean, look what the bloody football's done on
I know
where the nation is with the football, just because it's on the BBC. You know, it's mad. Some of this. I mean, I know it's about money, but there's also keeping something alive as well. That's worked into the leg side by Reza Hendricks. Square out in front, and there's a single. Have they finished? They got one more to play, haven't they? Or have they finished it now? No,
they're done, aren't they?
I think they're done. Yeah.
I mean, South Africa have been without Van Niekerk and Marizanne Kapp, who I would say are your two real strike bowlers, and for Marizanne Kapp, run scorers as well. So, I mean, they have been a little bit depleted, I think, for their star players. And Lizelle Lee's also retired. But, yeah, I think England women are on the way up, which is good.
It is. Oh, that's aerial. It's gone out, though, towards, through a vacant point. That's a Liam Livingstone who slings it in from the boundary. As I'm in Cardiff today, just hopped across the border from Bristol. Bristol was a postage stamp, man. Jesus, one of the boundaries was 56 metres.
Yeah, I've been there to see a game of cricket once, and it rained from about the second over onwards. So
funny that I was saying last night. I went there twice in the World Cup in 2019 in the same week, and it was raining from pretty much when I arrived to when I left.
We had a nice curry after that.
Yeah, we had a nice Chinese actually in a little markety place. That's chipped into the leg side off the inside half of the bat, and maybe a bit of pad by Reza there. And it'll be. Did they get back for two? They did get back for two.
Yeah, 2.
Up 5 for none. One ball left in the first over. I still haven't got my bet in. God damn it! Mind you, I get an extra 5 runs if you forget.
What are your odds looking like there?
It's always around about evens, but I reckon there's always an early wicket in the T20. It's quite, if they offer you enough, then it's probably worth going. As Curran comes in, and that one goes straight on, and Hendricks plays a wafty drive through the keeper, and there's no run. You give us some tweets, Max.
I will. I'll fill your betting dead air with some social media. Warren says afternoon, Warren. / evening. I don't know. It depends. I don't know when you decide afternoon becomes evening. But it's a matter
about 5,
of choice,
6 o'clock. Well, it's about 6 o'clock in the summer. 5. Well, no. Yeah, 5 o'clock even. 5 o'clock. 5, 6 o'clock.
John McNamara. England have a game of cricket tonight. Must be a. Actually, I have no idea. I'll stick on guerrilla cricket anyway. Good on you.
Good on you.
JD have got a giveaway alert. Oh no, that's an ad. Farong, greetings from Mirpur. Hope everyone is well. Can toppers rip through the Saffers top order and cause a possible blowout? Cardiff. Should be interesting to see how the pitch plays out.
Indeed. When it was a wrist swing first over, here's his jingle.
KB once tried to kill him, and AB smashed him off the park. Then Boyd Rankin shattered.
First ball, he guides down towards third man. Does Quinton de Kock gets himself off strike straight away? He's generally bowled a loose first 2 balls, and then he's kind of been on it. I didn't realise he had to manage his workload. Someone was telling me the other day on air, and shamefully I can't remember who it was I was talking about it with, but his back's still a bit shaky, and apparently he can't bowl that many overs, which is a shame. He's wondering about first-class cricket. But he does play first-class cricket, but whether we can get him in the test side. So that one's worked into the leg side. Front of square though, and it'll be a single.
Spent most of his time in England though. We're stuffed without him. Well, we're not stuffed. We're top of the county champ, but
yeah. Sorry. Are they going to win it?
Yes.
Yes, you reckon? Are you a Surrey lady? You are.
I'm Essex technically,
Essex?
but I work for Surrey. So, but I
okay.
think from what I've seen, Surrey look the strongest, providing their side's not always as depleted as it is.
Well, yeah. A big drive by de Kock, gets beaten on the outside edge by Reece Topley, and it'll be no run. Yeah, to my shame, I don't really follow the county cricket that much. Sorry, guys. Everyone knows that.
do you follow any cricket?
International cricket. Yeah, I spend my time. I can tell you, I think I've pretty much watched part of virtually every series that England have been in since, like, from beginning to end. So that's cut at by Quinton de Kock, and it's actually going to be a wide. It was outside the lines. Reece Topley gets it wrong.
Wide.
Since 2009.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
Home and away.
I mean, that's a full-time job these days.
It is a full-time fucking job. Tell me about it.
I'm just quite intrigued about managing Reece Topley's workload, because if you think about it, he's come off the back of the India one-dayers, and do you play in the T20s? Well, the one-dayers, and
Yeah.
then he's had this straight afterwards.
As that's bumped over the infield, not particularly well timed by Quinton de Kock, but there's no one out in the deep, and they'll get back for 2. Yeah, but I mean, that's it. It's T20s and ODIs.
Yeah, is it day to day? Is it within the match? I don't know. What's the...
I mean, if he's playing T20s on with 4 overs and having to field for another 16, and if you're playing an ODI, it's 50 overs, you only get to bowl 10. And if one of those is one every 3 days, and then, or one every, so you get a day's rest in between, and then 2 days rest before the last one. Another one, I think that's going to be wided again. It is. Hanging it out too wide is de Kock. You're seeing what they're trying to do. He's been caught twice, either trying to work one that's just a little bit too wide into the leg side, or slapping it to cover pretty much where Bairstow is. Hard, but in the air. Topley though strays leg side, and that's been sweetly picked up by Quinton de Kock, and he'll get it out to the mid-wicket boundary. It's the first one of the day, I think. What's this?
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
That was a poor ball, overcompensated. Straight onto the legs, and a nice shot by Quinton de Kock. Well in front of square. The man is out in the deep in the square. And a better start than they had last time. And this one has got the treatment as well. This time over the top of cover. Not brilliantly timed, but timed well enough. Once it's got over the infield, it skates away to the boundary, and it'll be 4 more runs, and Max will give us some tweets.
Now my innings going, great guns, I hit the ball, 4 runs, I hit the ball, and it went for 4 runs.
Indeed, I will. Ravi Nair. Jules' new hair makes her look completely different. Trey Cool, he says. I don't know if that's... I assume that's not him referring to the Green Day Trey Cool, the drummer.
Ooh, I don't
quite
know.
a different looking person. Brian Barish. Good day, cricket fans. Here we go again. My Patreon membership, QAD, has allowed me to discover the criminally underused, possibly expired de Kock jingle. Can you sing it for us, Bear?
No, but I can probably find it.
Amla's out, de Kock's out, AB's retired, and my heart says do 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 do.
I'll find it. Reza is in on the act this time, and there goes my bet as I slogged over deep square leg, picked up very nicely. It was only 75 miles an hour, and Reza Hendricks probably used to a lot quicker than that in South Africa. And that's the first one of these of the day. It's all going horribly wrong already. That was a nice shot, but it was a nice ball to be able to hit it off, wasn't it? Length at 75 miles an hour. Gets what it deserves. Way back into the stands. Curran in again. Picked up off his legs once more. Behind square. It's going to be 4 more. Good start for the power play for the Sappers today. You're getting your wish, Max. 29 for none in 2.2 overs.
Good start, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a pretty good start.
Shall I do my disclaimer?
Sorry, say again.
I'll do my disclaimer. I'm always such a bloody Jonah. As soon as I say something, the opposite
Yeah,
guarantee can happen.
Well, England are going to get hammered. They're going to get... Well, we got 234 yesterday. See if they can beat that today and then roll us for 70 or something. Hard scores to chase down. Although I do remember when we chased down South Africa in that World Cup that we ended up losing in the final over to the sixes in Sri Lanka. That is clipped down to deep square where Livingston is fielding. It'll be a single off the third ball of the over. And they got, what, 223 that day, or the 222, and we chased it down. That was a fantastic game of T20 cricket.
Well, was it Hampshire who got 260 odd in the blast the other day against Derbyshire? So
Yeah. Was it Somerset actually got? It was Somerset, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was it. Getting the wrong part of the south of the country.
Don't do that, and he'll be on your case. 260 in 20 overs is absurd.
Yeah.
England just about managed to get 260 twice in 50 overs against India. That is clipped down once more off the hip of the cock. He'll get a single down to deep square leg, and he's off and away. If you don't get the cock early, he can be very destructive. 2 balls left in the over. Sam Curran has gone for 17 in his 10 balls so far. So it's Izzy Wong blonde as well, like that. Do you know if the men's and women's team communicate?
I think they do actually. I think they must do coordinate hairstyles.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. That one is defender slower ball again by Sam Curran. This time a proper slower ball at 68 miles an hour. And Reza checks his shot and just defends it behind square for no run.
There was a time where all the Surrey guys seemed to have Peaky Blinders haircuts, and I had no idea what Peaky Blinders was. So I was like, why the hell have they got their hair so all long on top and short at the sides? And I saw Peaky Blinders and I was like, oh, right, okay. That makes sense.
I think that was instigated by Jason Moy. That's Sammy Curran is clipped. Another slower ball. It's clipped out to deep mid wicket. I think it's Adil Rashid possibly out there. He fields it, sends it back in, and it's a single one over to Max.
Dave Wood says England's women have moved on to play in the Commonwealth Games. Indeed, they have. The women's 100's been shortened a bit for that, but I think that's probably overall a good thing. Well, yeah, maybe that can be a discussion.
Yeah, I think it is a good thing.
Leah says dropping in for a bit of the first innings, then off to record with Armchair Cricket Pod. Go the Proteas. Send my regards to Ajit.
Yeah, indeed. Send all our regards to Ajit.
Warren, 1:30 p.m. will be pretty much slap bang in the afternoon. I'm not sure about that. Leah, watch toppers top the South African top order. Click here.
Is that our
and then it's a link to the Guerrilla Cricket commentary. Not really going to plan so far. Ravi, I had to set up an exhibition in Bristol once. Had a huge local bearded bloke to help. We went for beers after, when he gleefully told me it's still the law. We are allowed to kill any Welshman who crosses the border on a Friday. I've avoided Bristol since.
Wow. Moeen Ali is in, and that didn't turn at all. And Hendricks just has gone back and crashed it through the offside. And it will be 4 more runs. Just a little bit too short, and there's absolutely nothing in the wicket for him there. And he'll come in to bowl to Reza again. Yeah, this time just clips it up to long on. Moves on to 21 off 11 balls. Oh, sorry. Yes. The cock, 14 off 19. Oh, we saw Reza Hendricks did this once, didn't he? In the World Cup, he got a decent score there, I think. In fact, in the game that they beat us, didn't they, at the end, which was kind of a bit of a dead rubber. Was it him or was it Ratty van der Dussen, actually?
I honestly can't remember.
Can't you?
No.
I have a vague memory.
It's far too long ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. Again, you see, I've watched an awful lot of cricket, Max. I might not watch county cricket, but I watch an awful lot of cricket. That one is fielded as it's just clipped and mistimed by the cock, who shakes his head in disgust at himself, gets himself a single to mid-wicket now.
Here's a point of discussion. What do you think about Joss Buttler keeping wicket and captaining in terms of the flow of the game?
As that's played up to a long on as now, and I don't mind. I think keepers are quite good as captains. I think you get to see the game well from being the keeper. You get to see what the ball's doing, and you've got the whole field in front of you. You can communicate easily with your bowlers, and you can see the game quite well from there. I quite like keepers as captains, I've got to be honest. Around the wicket comes Moeen Ali, and he's got his man. Quinton de Kock has not managed to lift that over mid-on. He's come down the track, mistimed it. Jason Roy hasn't got many runs, he's taken a few catches. And we have to say goodbye to.
Is he the Zach Crawley of the T20 team?
Well, he's had a pretty poor summer, has to be said.
A little bit at the moment, yeah.
I mean, he looked absolutely hopeless yesterday. I mean, he was flapping about. Josh Buttler came out, smashed a couple of sixes and got, 21 off like 6 balls or something. And Jason Roy was just flapping at him, kept mistiming it, and eventually got out for 8 or 15 deliveries. it was an awful. And when the thing is with Jason Roy, when he looks ugly, he looks real
so bad. You can usually tell after about 4 balls as well what kind of day Jason Roy's going to have.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Shall I do a bit of quick tweet catch up?
Yeah, go for
it. Brian 001 would like you to update the on-screen score ticker, please. Because currently South Africa seem to be 193 for 8.
Oh Christ! Did I not put a new one in? All right, yeah, I can do that.
And
I forgot to do that.
And I'll let you jingle up the new man.
Oh yes, we have a new batsman. Oh, now this is from the Dane Pete sessions. No, not him. Obviously, it's him. That's my kids.
Love that.
That was done in 2015-16 for that series. That's the last when we first had Riley Rousseau. Oh, it's still going. In the anthem, and that was the same day that I did Dane Pete, which causes a lot of trouble for people. But hey, there's a scorecard. Quentin Cottery,
what do you think, Max, on the
on the captaincy?
All that
yeah, on the captaincy thing. I agree with Bear when it comes to T20 cricket and probably one days as well. Generally the reason to get a sense of how the game's going, and you need to make those changes quickly, and it's more important that you do. I think with in a test match, it's far too much. Concentration-wise,
I don't. I'm in disagreement there. I don't think it is really. That's into the toes as Topley continues of Rousseau, which gets him off the mark. Fine on the leg side. That's not off the mark, is it? He's already got one. It's 4. Everyone's scorecard should be now up to date. What about you, Jules? What do you reckon?
For a T20, I'm not sure it particularly matters. For a test match, the pace of the game, I think, is fine. But having watched Buttler, I'll let you do this, Paul.
That's gone through. So trying to turn it leg side, beat the outside edge, good ball. Didn't really know much about it. And there's no run. Carry on.
Having seen Buttler in the one-dayers, I just thought it slows the pace of the game down because he was running to sort out the bowlers. He was then running back again. And while it was effective in terms of actually they got the win, don't get me wrong, it was just, I think if you're looking for entertainment and a quicker format of cricket, it was a long one-day international.
I didn't think of it like that. That's Topley into Rousseau, drives it out to Moen at cover. And there is no run.
Perhaps I need to develop some glove signals.
Yeah, semaphore.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be beyond England, would it? What with the numbers from the balcony?
Yeah, true. As Topley is going to come in to bowl to Rousseau, 5 off 4, and it's into his pads. Not much movement there at all, but he can't beat mid wicket. Dower Milan there, I think.
Believe so.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think you can think about. I know it's not for spectacle but it's not about that when you're in a team, is it? It's about winning, and it's and you've got to be able to do that. I mean, I'm sure if they were floating along, I think in that game, they won. It was quite tight, and they didn't have a lot of runs to play with, as that's. Played square to the offside and there's no run. It's like anything, if the game's running smoothly, you don't really need to do that, do you? It's only when it gets tight. When it gets tight, you'll have a group of players will congregate around a bowler at the bowler's end, and they still might have a 5-minute conversation, and you see them all splaying their arms out.
Everyone's always sticking their
arm
exactly.
in. I think he should be there, and the other guy's going, no, I think he should be there. That's into the thigh pad of Russo. It just bobbles out on the leg side. It'll be fielded for a leg bye. Ends the 5th over, 45 for one go, Max.
Neymar Butlins, I'm spending my morning here, LA, getting my FPL team organised and listening to you lot. Please don't talk about the economy or global warming. I'm in my happy space. Well, so was I, watching the cricket. And now you've mentioned the economy and global warming.
You brought it
why
up.
you
It's a shit
bloody
show.
done that? I'm blaming you. Dave Wood, R.E. Topley, since the shaky back, has he got his freshness back?
Whoa. I'll tell you that.
Messi Jez. Hello, Jez. Morning all. Off to bed soon. A shout out for Sri Lanka beating Pakistan today. Special mention for Prabhath Jayasuriya, whose fifer means that in his first 3 tests, he has taken 29 wickets at 20.37.
There's a homer.
Oh, yeah. I mean... But, you know, you've got to do it.
You got to do it. You got to do it. It's true. But, I mean, it's like Axel Patel against England. Sorry.
Well, I think he's a bit better than that.
Yeah, he probably is. Axel Patel, I don't think is actually very good. Gleeson is into the attack. I'm going to find his jingle in a second and I'm going to play it. But his first ball is played up to mid-on. And he really hurried everyone up yesterday. It was quite funny. They didn't seem to know what to do. And I got his jingle out yesterday. There it is.
Yorker from Gleeson, crashing into the target. The batsman relay, 2016 season. Yorker from Gleeson, went for less than a run a ball.
And his first ball was just played up. I don't know what happened in the first ball. I missed this first ball. I just I'm a bit stoned. So. That's played out the leg side. There's no run.
I think he just went for an easy single into the offside.
Okay. I think I said that. Jesus. Short-term memory loss. Yeah. I spent the afternoon watching Resident Evil 4 episodes.
Oh, yeah.
On Netflix.
The series.
Yeah.
Any good?
Well, it's a bit weird. It is kind of good. It looks like it's been made by an English production company. There's a lot of English actors in it. And then part of it seems to be in America, but a lot of it like it's in Dover in the southeast of England and Calais of weird places. So far in the first episode, attempted to pull that into leg side of Russo, probably in the midriff somewhere, and just goes out on the offside and there's no run. Oh yeah, it was painful.
The midriff.
Yes.
Yeah. Richard Gleeson, is he a late bloomer or has he been criminally overlooked for the last 8 years?
I think he's even got a second job, you know. He's a bit of a journeyman. I don't know much about him,
He's
but
a school teacher.
yes, that's it. That's what he does. He's teaching. Gleeson is tripping up to mid-off.
Mr. Gleeson is a real teacher name, isn't it, as well?
Well, yeah, I think he probably teaches geography looking at him, but you know. But yeah, I think he sort of went around a few counties. Someone will correct me. He was at Northampton, I think. He's playing at Lancashire now in the Blast. Is that right?
He was the top wicket taker when they called him up. I don't know if that remained the case by the end, but
No, he had a good time in Holland, Netherlands. Sorry, people. When he made his debut over there, that's down leg side though. Will be given as a wide. But he looks all right. But again, another one. I think he's had injuries and stuff and been a bit overlooked. His first-class career, we looked at it the other day. He played 30-odd first-class games with an average of 21, which can't be too bad.
No.
So probably had injuries. I mean, everyone seems to have had bloody injuries. Play for England, get injured.
yeah, break your back.
Break your back, basically. Yeah. Gleeson in, and that one's picked up sweetly. I think he was expecting that a little bit, Russo. He's been trying to bowl that tight leg side line. Took the gamble and picked it up nicely over backward square leg for 6 runs. Some bald dude got hit on a pate yesterday. See, don't think he was particularly watching. He was a big guy as
Do you
well.
get 2,000 for that?
I don't know. Let's have a look. Someone ducked. Or did it go out of the park? It went. Oh no, it's the old dude. He didn't catch it.
I mean, straight in there, isn't it?
Yeah, in and out.
It's in the breadbasket.
Terrible catch in the crowd.
You always say that and you realise how fast the ball would actually be coming to you.
Yeah, and you actually aren't on your feet, so you can't move very well.
Yeah.
It's not the easiest, but hey. Gleeson, last ball of the over, is full and driven, and it's the last ball of power play as well. Actually, he's going to go for 4 runs out through the covers, and it'll be 4 more.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We're going to do 1 more over, and then Max is going to take over ball by ball. Jason's supposed to be. I don't know if he's coming in here. Oh no, he's in the back room, so he's not. Well, oh yeah, exactly. Just realised that. I thought that was Jacob who'd come in. I didn't really look at the name. I just pressed admit. That's what I normally do. And so 10 and over.
Yeah.
Play. Give us some tweets.
Good start indeed. Just ideal. A pair of beards and specs in the house at Sydenham. Bear and baby bear. Yeah, it's not the first time we've had that. I'm afraid to say. Brian Barish, for those who care, this weekend I'll be calling 4 matches from inside a truck with like 1 billion screens. So it'll basically be like calling for GC, but times 4 or 5. Yeah, fair enough. That jingle is capital A amazing. Not as good as Dane, of course, but still amazeballs.
Yeah, you see, it's the same sessions. Driven by Hendricks up to mid-off. He'll get himself a single. We're out in the power play. We're in power play 2. Well, that's it. There isn't an extra power play, is there? There's only 2 power plays in T20s. Good. Brain's like fried. Too many zombies. Adil Rashid. Bowls a googly, and how that didn't bowl him, I do not know. It's a beautiful googly to the left-handed Rousseau, and he didn't pick it whatsoever.
The fruit remained on the tree.
Yes. I don't know if it will that much longer. I might have another little peek at under. That's too flat though. Dropped short by Adil, but he's got a man out in the deep, just in case he does that. It's Johnny B out at Cow, and it'll only be a single. I'm going to play his jingle underneath me speaking because he rolls too quick. It's played out to the leg side by Hendricks. Vacant mid-wicket, goddamn. Man comes in from the boundary. It'll be the 1 run. Sweats got down early, did Russo. Not greatly timed sweep out to Moen Ali, deep backward square leg on the bounce, safe enough. It's a single. Run rate's 9.15. But it's over already. It slowed things down, only 4 or 5 balls. And last ball of the over is a googly to Hendricks. Fielded out in the deep by probably Livingston. I didn't quite see who that was. He went to palm it off to Sam Curran and threw it right past him, and he's had to chase it down. Did they get 3 there? No, I think no, they must have done, because Hendricks is still on strike. It's the end of the over. We're going to have a switcheroo. Max, Jason, Jacob, but Jacob's not here, so I don't know what to do.
Want me to carry on?
If you want to carry on.
Carry
Hello,
on.
Jules. Nice to see you.
Hello, stranger. You alright?
Do you want to come and sit here, Max?
Sure.
If Jacob turns up, let him in. See you all in a bit.
Let me just
See you in
get
a
through
bit.
some tweets whilst they're faffing around in the studio. Josie Oak asks us, was it Mr. Ditch who wanted to assert his feudal rights in Bristol? Prong says, Roy and Crawley are in the respective teams for their catching abilities. Runs? Who cares about runs? And we are back with Max
We
and
are.
live.
Yeah, they're too quick for our seat change, unfortunately. So the first ball of Moen Ali's over, the second over was tucked into the leg side for a single to bring Riley Russo on strike. 66 for 1, the score. As Moen Ali's in round the wicket to the left-hander, and that's leapt up at him and defended a little early and popped into the leg side. There's no run there. Sign of the ball sticking in the pitch, maybe there.
It's a brilliant shot of de Kock. He's either very frustrated with himself or not happy with the situation with the spinners and the current batters.
So full from Moen Ali, a nice little paddle reverse sweep by Russo, but it only brings 1 as there is someone there at short third man to do the fielding.
You can just imagine the conversation. He said, "I was going so well in the one day when it was rained off. I was on 90."
Yeah, you should be allowed to carry on, I think, shouldn't you, if it rains? You should add it to your next score. As Hendricks is down the track to Moeen Ali, and it's just got enough to beat the man at long off. So that will be one of these. Nice shot, that. Hit through the line pretty well and into a vacant seat in the front row. Moeen Ali will be back in to the right hand. It's a better ball. This one's straighter and just hurried the batter a little bit, and it's tucked into the mid-wicket area, but there'll be no run. Hendricks 35 of 19. He's made a pretty good start of it, as have South Africa. And final ball
in the game yesterday as well.
Final ball of Moeen Ali's over is tucked into the leg side, past the infield, so Bairstow will do the fielding and they'll come through for one. So that's the end of the 8th over, 74 for one, and tweet time.
That message here says, "So what you're saying, Leah, is that it's almost as dreadful as the Dame Pete jingle. Simply awful." Talking about Bear's morning of creativity 5 or 6 years ago. Leah says, "Does a bear know you are slandering his cubs?" In relation to, I'm not sure quite what.
I assume
Neymar Butler says,
the thing about Bear and the baby bear.
"Please tell me Russo is not related to current IT girl, Alessia Russo. It's girls, Alessia Russo. She's my North Star and I'll follow these girls to the end. And SA T20 Russo doesn't compare, in my humble opinion."
Oh, well,
that was quite a spectacular third goal yesterday.
Oh, the back hill, that was something, and Hendricks has hit a nice looking 4 of the first ball of Moeen. Rashid's over the offside, and the follow up is straighter, tucked into the leg side, into that vacant area. They'll think about coming back for 2, but wisely decide against it. Yeah, going all right, aren't they? The England women's sport for England is looking great at the moment. They're taking over the men's roles by the looks of it.
If you give it airtime, people will come. I think that's the moral of this story.
Absolutely. It's full from Rashid and swept away to deep square leg, but Moeen Ali is there, so they will just come back for the one. Yeah, I assume we'll all be watching on Sunday then. I think the fact that it's against Germany will be able to entice a few more people in as well.
I have to say, I did sigh last night when I saw it was Germany, because you'll have all this jingoistic crap in the newspapers.
You really
like,
will.
God.
Yeah, we'd try to avoid that, as tucked into the leg side again by Hendricks for another single to bring Russo back on strike.
All the jingoistic crap we wouldn't have got if they were playing France, for example.
Slightly less, I suppose, isn't it? It's less about the war. Down the track, Russo to Rashid. I think he's got plenty of that, and that's again sailed over the boundary, the extra cover boundary, for another one of these. I picked a long one here, but I'll turn that down as we welcome Jacob into the room. So thank you very much, Jules, for holding the fort while Jacob joins us, and welcome Jacob to a pretty strong-looking South Africa start.
Hello, sorry I'm late, and thank you to Julia as well. It's nice to meet you in passing, sort of. Hi, Jason. Hi, Max. How are we going?
Very well, thank you. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's been a rush, but I'm here now.
Indeed you are, as Rashid's finishes off his over with a dot ball that's mistimed back to the bowler. So, end of the 9th over, 87 for 1, and over to you, Jason.
Jake Over says, "Evening all, just woke up. And Norcroft talking about neighbours. Realised my hangover invective was not going to hit the sides of the beeb, and switch on to GC. Felt like coming home." Brian makes also the point that BBC showed last night's game, but nothing tonight. And Leah says, "Do not mention the war in capitals!" !
I did once, but I think I got away with it.
Oh dear. We're back to that, are we?
And Ravi now says, "Don't talk about the football. We're going to lose to Germany on penalties. End of. ...
Nah, I'm going to do him. 4-0. Easy. Full of confidence. Right.
Oh God, is it Germany we're playing in the final?
It is indeed.
Oh, for God's sake, why is it? Why is it always?
Forget that, because there's a new bowler, so you can wash your mind clean with his jingle. So here he is.
Chris Jordan's back will make him cry more England.
And it's a short one to start, and it's pulled into the leg side. There's a man to do the fielding. So it'll be one run.
He'll wish he'd joined the Windies team.
Probably a cappella's not the one to commentate over.
Maybe not.
Oh well, it's been done. I apologise.
Oh, big divot in the ground. Is that a footmark?
Is that a divot or a sprinkler head that's just in the wrong place at the wrong?
Whatever it is, it's a hole in the ground.
Yeah, it looks a little damp out there. It's a bit of sawdust, so perhaps a little trouble they're having with their footing. But undeterred, Jordan is back in, round the wicket to the left-hander. Russo comes down, takes a bit of a swipe at it, under edge, into point, and they will trot through for a single as Jordan does the honours off of his own bowling.
It was pretty impressive yesterday with his death bowling. It was done with the Tristan Stubbs barrage. No, he was probably the difference between getting too close for comfort and a comfortable win.
Yeah, I'm just not sure about Chris Jordan. He's either brilliant with his death bowling or just gets absolutely slayed. It's a sort of boom or bust with him. And in he is again. It's a wide Yorker-ish delivery, and it's dug out and played into the deep cover area, Livingston Fields, and just the one run. England doing a little better, I think, to cut the boundaries down, but still still a very strong start from South Africa at 90 for 1.
Yeah, run rate just a tick under 10, and that will concern England. I mean, this isn't quite Bristol. It's not necessarily as flat, and the boundaries aren't as short. So they've got to be careful.
Yep, and this is another boundary as Jordan's sort of slower middle of the pitch ball, trying to get it to dig in, and Russo's come down, not timed it, but Sam Curran's not fielded it at mid-on, where he may have hoped to have stopped that on the dive, and it will be another one of these.
2 + 2 is our man.
Jordan not impressed with his Surrey teammate there.
Well, Brian Barrett says, "I don't have a dog in this fight, but I'd rather have 2 World Wars and 1 World Cup to the tune of Yankee Doodle Dandy, I think."
Well, Chris Jordan's tried to repeat the trick of the slower ball dug into the pitch, and Russo was rather expecting this one, and he has creamed this one back over the bowler's head, and it is 6 runs. And again, shelled in the crowd. They've not got their catching mitts on today in Cardiff.
Terrible, isn't it? Pretty pathetic.
There's obviously not money on offer, otherwise they'd be all at it. Well, that brings up the 100 as well. 100 for 1 of 9.5 overs. So a very good first half for South Africa. And some thinking for England and Jos Buttler to do here, I think.
Well, it's just good for the game that's actually being tested, I think, here.
Well, I think they've been reasonably sternly tested all the way through the white ball summer so far, as Jordan's in, and this is taken nicely down the leg side by Jos Buttler off the hip, so it won't be a wide, and that concludes the over. The first dot ball for a little while, and they're going for the review here. They are going for the review, which I'm surprised by, but we will see. I guess you've got 2, haven't you? So you might as well use one when things are going against you.
Well, there's nothing obvious about that one.
That was definitely out.
No. There's a review jingle. I had to play it. Yeah, a
It's
bit
a
of
good one as well. Good
cross
one.
seam there. That looks hip to me, but there were gloves near
Miles
it. So
away from it.
It's also not carried.
He's miles away.
Let's see, the slow-mo's coming through. Oh no,
he's got it.
there is a nick on the glove, but I don't think it's carried.
I'm a moron and an
I
idiot.
don't think it's carried. I think it's hit the floor as it's gone into Joss Butler's gloves here. So I think we're probably going to have to go through the whole foreshortening of the lens debate once again. But in terms of whether the ball's been hit, it's a very good review from Joss Butler. But he's diving forward. That's definitely bounced.
Has it? Yes, it has.
That's definitely bounced.
But will they argue that it's bounced into the fingers of his other glove?
Well, I
Despite the
think
fact
his
it's
left
quite clearly
glove,
touched
from
the
what I can
ground?
see, his left glove on the way over, he's trotting over to the leg side to try and get his hands down, but coming forward a bit. And the tip of his left glove has actually tipped the ball into the floor and then into his right
it's
glove.
bounced.
So that's very
Pretty
clearly
quick,
hit
yeah.
the floor from the slow-mo replay, and that's going to be not out. The question is, are England going to keep their review? Because I mean, he hit it, so they were fair to review it, right? And it's the umpire review that's going to overturn it. But I assume they'll just lose the review because that would be far too complicated for cricket, wouldn't it?
Cricket has never been a game to be needlessly complicated.
Well,
Butler rolls his eyes and thinks,
there was a little bit of
Maybe
excitement, but as it is, it's a very neat 100 for 1 of 10 overs. And over to the social media.
ideally just says, I don't recall Reza Hendricks being quite this dynamic against the Banglas back home. Mayank says, South Africa off to a great start. England in trouble if they don't get 2 to 3 wickets soon. And Mayank replying to Brian Barrett says, I'll be there to see my cousin Chiransu Bhatia play for Philadelphia in the baseball games. Jago says, irony being, I don't want to be mentioned more to Leah, now to do with her nationality, but I think because she probably has a war game which destroys Sheffield in the mediums of hexagons. Brian Becker says he'll bump into Mayank in between spells. Just Ideal asks a grammar question. He says, why is the seemingly redundant off of so ubiquitous? As in 12 off of 10 balls.
I've always said 12 off 10. Personally.
Precisely.
Yeah. That is odd.
No, I can only apologise then. I assume it was me that slipped the tongue. It's been a while. I've been out of the commentary seat for a little while. So I'm also
You
getting.
never know, mate.
I've also
It
just
could have
seen
been-
that I'm in trouble with Ravi as well for saying Slade instead of Slain, and I'm pretty mortified by that. I have to be honest. I might just retire now, I think.
And Leah has sent us a joke in German, which I don't think my German is up to pronouncing, I'm afraid. Ravi says, don't forget YouTube, we have a sponsored comment. I shall go over to YouTube and say that.
We have
And,
Sam Curran.
We do. Sam Curran's back into the attack while you look up that YouTube comment, and it's back of a length into the offside by Hendricks, and they come back for the second.
And Abhishek Goodness says, do you feel England need to consider Alex Hales? Question mark.
Oh, not this again. Well, now Morgan's out of the picture. Maybe there's an opening.
There's an opportunity to be rehabilitated in the absence of Morgan.
I think, I don't know about you guys, Sam Curran's in again. This is full and driven into the offside, but there is a man there. And slightly better struck this time, so I think it will just be the single. Nope, they are back for two. So 2 doubles off the first 2 balls. Yeah, I don't know where you two stand on this, but for me, I think we're probably just past Alex Hales now, and we'd probably be more likely to look towards some of the younger guys, like, with my Surrey cap on, I'll say Will Jacks, who is a phenomenal cricketer, and Will Smead as well, the other young Will who's lighting things up. There's a few guys out there, I think. Back of the length from Sam Curran into the point area, and they'll come through for a single.
I certainly enjoyed watching Will Jacks finish off the Surrey 4-day game in style today.
Yes,
With 3 sixes.
3 sixes in 6 balls. Very nice.
Doing a
So
reverse swept 6 to the long boundary.
what you're saying, Max, is they try to make Alex Hales opening T20, but you say no, no, no. That lovable old Coke fiend. Anyway, I think I agree with you. Although, actually, even being a Surrey fan, I have a deep and personal hatred for Will Jacks, solely because after this ball,
There's full on the stumps from Sam Curran. Royally Russo steps away to make some room. Plays to mid-off, who has a shy at the stumps. Looks like he made a dive for his ground, but needlessly, as the throw was wayward. So one more to the total. Carry on, Jack.
solely because his status as the bowls a bit of spin all-rounder, first of all, is indicative of the decline of proper spin in this country and our institutional distrust of it.
He's
and
annoyingly
also
effective as well.
keeps one of my favourite cricketers, Amar Virdi, out the team. So I'm very annoyed at him, even if he is very good.
Fell outside off stump, driven upish by Hendricks, but not to the fielder. They'll come back for two, and that will be a 50 for Hendricks off 29 deliveries. And there are milestone jingles, and I will jingle one up when I can find it, and I must make sure not to play the one about it being a bowler's pitch. Here we go.
50 runs.
It's quite long, so I'll turn it down. He's played well, Reed Hendricks, hasn't he?
Well done, well done.
Yeah, this is where he got into trouble last game, I think, because he was 15 out then.
Well, you were almost the prophet there. So he should have been in trouble, as he's clothed-ish inside edge, a leggish delivery from Sam Curran to the man at short wide, fine leg, which is Richard Gleeson, but he's put it down. So that's a chance that goes begging there for him. It didn't deserve a wicket, but it very nearly got one. And he's got there quite comfortably and really should be taking that, but it's gone in of one hand, out of the other. So they'll come through for a run, and that will finish the over. So another chance, well, not another chance, probably the first chance in ages goes begging for England there. That'll be bitterly disappointing. And 108 for, 109 for 1 is the score off 11.
Ideally, just says, pet peeve, the puerile focus on crowd non-catches by mainstream comms. Now my beloved gorillas have joined them in the mire. Oh, well, I'm sorry.
I'm only doing it because that's what I'm getting on the picture feed, you see. Richard Gleeson's back to try and make amends for his drop, and well, he's not too far from it. It's played into the leg side, upish, not got hold of it, but it's one bounce and the fielder out there, so just a single. Jotler comes trotting down to have a chat with his bowler. No doubt.
I think we should call him Jutler.
Jutler,
or whatever you call him. That's a great name.
I think it was Jutler, yeah.
Or Jotler.
Jotler's a good one. Yeah, the kids at Richard Gleeson's school will be very disappointed in him for that one.
Oh, Mr. Gleeson, I can't believe you dropped it. It was a dolly.
Yeah, I think he'll get a bit of that on, well, a couple of weeks' time on Monday morning.
I don't know what kind of school he teaches at. It might be a slightly posher sounding thing, or I don't know. Wide given. Butler's not happy with it, or Jotler, however we want to refer to him. It's possibly a bit harsh, do you think, with the angle there?
I don't know. He's fired that bit wide. That's probably fair in the T20 in this deeply silly format of cricket.
Well, it's a tactical bit of bowling, I think, because what that does is brings the score to 111 for 1 off 11.1 overs. So I think Richard Gleeson just won with a little bit of OCD there, as he's tried to repeat the trick of the full wide outside off stump. Slower, I think, and down the ground for a single to the man at mid-off. 112 for 1 off 11.2. Come on, let's keep it going.
I think that's what we might call Ultimo Nelson. I'm surprised we haven't taken a wicket off that. 111 for 1 off 11.1.
I mean, come on. You've got to be getting a hat-trick there, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly. that's the sort of Nelson which only comes around once in a generation.
Andrew Sampson and Andy Zaltzman are purring somewhere. It's back of a length and upish from Reza Hendricks. I think this is going to be taken. It's taken brilliantly by Johnny Bairstow on the boundary. It looks like it was
2 off 11.2.
Oh,
11.3.
I'm afraid. Sorry. Could be, yeah. Anyway, it was back of a length, and I think he got a little bit under it, Reza Hendricks, right out to the square leg boundary. It looked like it was going to carry comfortably. Then it looked like it might just about be clearing Johnny Bairstow as he was 10 yards in and going for one of those really awkward fours that goes over your head. But running back, he's taken that over his shoulder and then stopped on the boundary, done a little Cristiano Ronaldo celebration to the 15 spectators in the slightly modest stand in front of him. But as it is the end of Reza Hendricks for a well-made 50. And after a lot of nonsense, I will play a jingle.
I'm a loser. Yeah, I'm a loser, babe. I'm just a loser. Whoa, whoa.
Nicely done by Bairstow. He's stopped very well, actually. You know, he's got a lot of momentum going back towards that boundary, and he's managed to hold himself quite spectacularly from going over.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really good bit of fielding. Not much room to work with at all, and well worth the celebration, I think.
Gets the Trent Bolt Award for boundary fielding.
So, not too much of a problem is Richard Gleeson's drop as he fires in a full toss, but that's just dumped into the offside by Riley Russo. So, I guess we're still maintaining the crossing rule in this form of cricket. Obviously they ditched it for the IPL. I think they've ditched it in the Blast, but
it's not coming into force.
It's not officially coming into force until October, but there have been some early adopters. Obviously the 100 started it, but yeah, the IPL, as I said, weren't enforcing it, but they are here. There's a very boring interlude for you as Heinrich Klaasen comes in, and that's down the leg side and will be a wide, which gives me the opportunity to jingle up the new South African batsman.
If you think he's going to replace the all forms of the game, then baby you're insane. What's this guy's name?
Just have to take my headphones off for that for a bit.
It was a bit loud, wasn't it?
It was a bit.
Sorry to listeners at home if you've just been deafened by
Yeah.
Heinrich Klaasen's jingle.
Well,
Oh, but he's hit that hard.
he has. The first legal ball that Heinrich Klaasen's faced is shortish, and it's pulled nicely down to the boundary for one of these.
If they weren't deafened by his jingle, they'll be deafened by the sonic boom that came off the middle of his bat with that shot.
Fortunately, no sound effects coming through for the Gorillas, so they just have to deal with the constant chatter of crowd noise. So they're saved from that one, as the final ball of the over is full outside, off stump, and it's fielded at point. So there will be no run. Finish the over, 118 for 2 off 12.
Jogo agrees with us. He thinks Will Jacks looks jolly good. Perko says maybe Max is a fan of the band Slade. Come on,
They've got a
Slade.
good Christmas song, haven't they?
Yeah. And also says, oddly, it sounds like you're off of. And Jago says, I've now changed my mind about Will Jacks. Amalvidi has a better beard. F you,
does.
Jacks.
He
Amar for England.
He has an exquisite beard. As a Sikh gentleman, he's very, very well bearded.
Obviously, the other spinner being kept out of the side by Will Jacks is Dan Moriarty, the left armour. As Adil Rashid's in, it's full, and it's really nicely reverse swept by Riley Russo, and that has another 4 runs. Lovely shot, that.
Yes, it was, wasn't it?
Oh, threw the balls too quickly for any further thoughts than agreement there, as Russo's down the track. Is there some bat on this? I think he's not got hold of it at all. I think it's been edged over Joss Butler, and he's lucky to both not be caught behind or stumped there. But the result is that it will be another 4. I think googly not picked.
Yeah, well, he's
1, 2, 3, 4.
As Rashid does get through his balls quickly, doesn't he? As that's misfielded by David Malan in the covers, so they'll sneak through for another run there. So that's the fielding's not been great, is it, by England so far? There was the drop, well, apart from Bairstow, but the drop catch. There's been a bit of a few misfields on the ground. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's cutting up like we saw earlier. Maybe we'll give them that excuse. As Rashid's in again, and this is driven high in the air by Henrik Klaasen, and high and long enough for one more of these.
Smack it in the air. Smack it in the air. Legs moving side to side. Smack it in the air. Smack it in the air.
Smaximum.
Well, we said England need wickets, but South Africa haven't been deterred, have they, by that wicket?
No. And that's the one as a spin bowler which you just feel absolutely brutalised by that sort of big straight drive.
Yeah, it's the big long reach of Klaasen there to make that a fuller ball than it was, I think, as he's just dumped one into the offside for 2 there. It's good running into that the no man's land, I suppose, between the infield and the boundary, and they've come through for a quick 2. Last ball of the over, and it's again tucked into that same space. I think it will just be the one this time, as Livingston's quick off the mark to return that. So just the one to finish. 136 for 2 off 13 overs, and I think it will be time for me to make way for.
I think we got one more.
We got one more.
Yeah, one more.
No, we got one more.
I thought it was 7-6. I thought it was 7-6-7, but the bear is probably asleep in the green room because he sent a message to that effect on YouTube. Stephen Kelk on YouTube says his pupils won't be angry at Mr. Gleeson, they'll be disappointed.
Oh, it's his own time he's wasting by dropping those.
That bastard 52
No.
Hales is demonised whilst his part-time accomplished Stokes he's almost up for sainthood. Confusing.
I hear footsteps.
Oh dear. You're about to be dragged into the wood.
It's going to be crushed by a thundering bear. And we have another hirsute bowler who has come to the crease.
Yep, it's the previously very effective Reece Topley, who's not been so effective today, and the first ball of the over is tucked into the leg side for a single. Are we changing, Bear? Yeah.
We are?
We should be, yes. So after as you can see, we're all very clear on things in Gorilla Towers. So I will take my leave, and I will leave Jacob to do ball by ball. Bear's coming in on social, and Jules should be coming in to summarise. So I will see you all later.
Thanks very much.
I will say in Topley's defence, his second over only went for 4 runs, unlike his first over, which went for something like 14 runs. So it's a bit of a game of 2 halves at the moment. Let's see how he goes.
Well, here he is, and here is the bear, ready and waiting, vape in hand. Here comes Topley. Oh, that's a slower Yorker, I think. No, it wasn't even slower, it was 82 miles an hour. It was a wide Yorker, and Russo reached for it and missed it, but it's not a wide. Hello, Bear. Hello, Jules. Nice to meet you, Jules. We've never been on before.
Well, you two never met either, crikey.
No.
That's how long you've been away, Jules.
I know. To be fair, it's only been about 8 months.
I know, we've had a lot of people.
I'm a new boy.
Still a lot of changes going on.
They've been importing you.
Good. Get some range in there.
Hendo couldn't carry on forever, you know. We had to pack him off to Siberia. In comes Topley, short, pulled by Russo. It's a misfield on the 45 by Adil Rashid, as he always is. And Russo will get through for 1 and for a 50. Jingle me bear. Eventually.
Don't stop just cause you got to 50. Don't stop, treat it as a start. You can use this to get a better score. The first 50's done. The first 50's done. Ooh, don't look back.
And Topley's into Klaasen, who's driving straight. It's another pretty poor misfield by mid-off. And it's gone out to mid-on. They'll get through for 2. Yes, they will. Sam Curran again with the misfield. Riley Russo, 50 from 32 balls. Thoughts?
He's back quite well. He's a powerful man when he got going.
He can hit a long ball for sure. As that's Sam Curran's nutmegged himself, and he's banged up his knee in the process. Everything perfect there for Curran. As Clarkson pulls out into the leg side, there's 2 fielders out there, neither one of them miss fields, which is good. And in the ball comes a get through for another 2. I don't know if you can tell yet, but I'm not a Sam Curran fan, Jules.
Why is that? Why?
I just don't think he's very good. Neither's his brother, in his defence.
His brother's worse, I think.
It's a family thing.
Oh, that's a bit strong.
It's on the legs from Topley and out into the leg side. There is a man deep. They'll just get through for a single to end that over. 14 gone. South Africa 143 for 2. Who's on the social?
Me, actually.
There. Crack on.
And I don't know where you were up to. So I'm just going to pick one.
Ravi Nair.
No, Jay Grover. Oh, was it Ravi Nair? Is that correct?
Yeah.
I can't find Ravi Nair. How long ago was it? Oh, right. What I like about T20s. Okay, so I'm going to go from above that. Jay Grover says, I'm loath to talk about spinners unless Naylor gets summoned, but isn't Moriarty South African? Also, no beard, so half a man. No offence.
So Moriarty's born in Reigate, and I think he was raised in South Africa, and he did play under 19 in South Africa, so it's a bit of a hybrid.
Okay.
Ah, I always thought he was South African as well.
Well, if he was born in Highgate, we're claiming him.
No,
Reigate.
Reigate.
Well, sorry?
Reigate.
Highgate, you know.
Somewhat different area.
They're not dissimilar, though. O'Neill Harris says, hey Gorillas, went on vacation for a week. What the hell are these teams batting on? Well, South Africa making it look easy. We have slowed them down a little bit, though, I think. It feels like, even though
slowed them down middle overs, and we kind of, picked back up again.
The good old boring middle overs. We even have a jingle. But Jordan is in. To Clarkson over the wicket. Clarkson is showing all his stumps, not stepping across. He's just had a hack into the offside and he's caught. Oh, it's a pretty poor shot in the end. He's standing way leg side and he just hacked out a cut shot to David Milan at short cover and he's gone.
Top edge, for fuck's sake. Oh no, he's out. Excellent. Top edge, for fuck's sake. Oh no, he's out. Excellent. Top edge, for fuck's sake. Oh no, he's out. Excellent.
Every time you play that jingle, I think it's you saying top edge until we get into the jingle.
Well, yeah, it's I like that one from Mog.
I heard it and just went, you didn't top edge it.
I know.
So ended it.
Yeah, I know. I should just play it when I top edge it, but I just quite like it.
I always like the one with another one bites the dust. That's great. That's
yes.
a great one with you on it.
Yeah, Mog seems to pick me out quite a lot these days. Doesn't he? Put me on
Well,
jingles.
you're a distinctive presence on Gorilla Cricket
Well,
Bear.
I suppose so.
We get on air because of the bear, after all.
Oh, now this guy yesterday gave it some humpty. We got to jingle him within 30 overs as well from the start of the game. It's pretty amazing. And this was it.
Stubbs to chew Tristan for 8. He offers more for what he's paid. He can bat and bowl and even keep. It's time that Stubbs he made the lead.
Pretty poor average of 72 in T20 internationals for Tristan Stubbs. After having only batted in one game, this is his fourth T20, and the first one he didn't bat, the second one was rained off, third one he was yesterday and he made a big score. As he clips that one off his hip and the man running round to keep square legs will pick it up, they'll get through for 2, and it's Russo who was on strike there because they crossed, and we talked about crossing and is it enforced yet, is it not enforced yet, what the hell's going on, what are the ICC doing, and the answer is no one really knows.
I thought it was September.
The law changes, I think, in October, but
is it
some
October?
teams are doing it.
Yeah, because the IPL did it back in the IPL, but exactly as far as I've heard, it was it's being introduced later in the year.
In comes Jordan, and that's played out into the offside towards third man. It's going to beat the 2 fielders, bisecting them, and run away to the third man boundary for one of these.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
I think the answer in all these debates is that the ICC has no idea what it's doing or what's going on, and that as long as the money keeps rolling in, they don't really care.
And also depends on what India wants to do.
Exactly. But call me a cynic. But if you take out the B in BCCI and move the letters around, you get ICC. Just say it.
Yeah.
If you leave out the B. Anyway, Jordan in. Russo down the track and wide of it to the leg side. He pulled that away pretty strongly. A man in the crowd signals 6. We'll see what the win was.
That was
I think it was a 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I say, Ronnie Russo looks a little bit, and everyone looks, because you don't get the hair and the shape of the face, but he looks a bit like Alex Lees under the helmet.
Yeah, it does. That's actually bounced twice, despite the protests of that naughty South African fan in the crowd, trying to fool the umpires, who maybe didn't bring their glasses to work today. As Russo faces up. Did we see in the test match the other day, Kumar Dharmasena in Sri Lanka had to bring out the bionic glasses because the light was too low. But as Russo misses that one through to Butler, just having a hack at it, he had to bring out sort of different tinted glasses so that he could see. But because they hadn't hit the reading on the light meter they'd already set, play could continue. So the umpire couldn't see, but apparently the players could.
Those are the orange tint ones, aren't they?
Yeah,
right now.
The old night vision bionic glasses.
How strange. They won that second test, didn't they? Is it a 3-test series, that one, or is it a 2?
Oh, I couldn't tell you, but that Prabha
1-1 with 1 to play would be interesting.
Dangerous. As that's on the leg side and swatted high and hard, and it's bounced just in front of the fielder, who's come around and collected it, and I think they've got through for just 1, but I could stand to be corrected on that. Yes, because Russo's keeping the strike because it's the end of the over.
Oh, that's me. Right. Jeff says, packing Hendo off to Siberia is just going to contribute to global warming by melting the tundra. Jay says, hello Jules, how is the band? After a week with my nephew, I'm going to assume it's well behaved as you don't look like you're attempting suicide. Okay, Jay. Leah says, I wouldn't call him the Napoleon of spin just yet, though. I presume that's about, what's his name earlier? The South African-born English person. No, the other way around. Bear likes all jingles which involve him. Sign solipsism, says Jay. Yeah, maybe true.
It'll be Gleeson returning. I don't think the Bear's that self-centred. He selflessly gives all his time during the cricket. I mean, his kids don't see him, his marriage is breaking down. This is what he gives up for you people.
Exactly.
The gratitude is none.
Yeah.
Russo
give me loads of cash.
has a bit of an agricultural hat and gets through for 1, brings Stubbs on strike. But the problem is, Bear, if we pay you, we've got to pay others. And
Bear does a lot of the work.
Yeah, but I did a lot of work, and I'm the director and I own the company, so if I pay myself,
Hendo gets the co-founding bonus, and then I might end up being paid at some point, and that would be calamity.
I keep dreaming of winning a lottery, I dream that I win a lottery one day. I can only do the Euros, because there's no point in winning 1 million when you can win 14, right? So I figure if I win 14 million, I just put 2 million in a bank account for Guerrilla Cricket. We all get paid for at least 10 years at a decent amount, and it'll all be fun.
As a pull from Stubbs out to the man in the deep, they'll probably just get a single from that. That's great, Bear, except if you did win the lottery, we all know that you'd spend the other 12 million on new production equipment, so it would be a bit depressing.
I could hire someone to run it all there. I could buy us an actual proper studio. I have these dreams. There was one jackpot where it was like 100 and something million, and I dreamt that I was going to win it, of course, and then I was going to buy at the time after this ball.
In comes Gleeson, pulled hard by Rousseau, out into the deep, and I think he's dispatched that. But what are these?
At the time, for some reason, I was looking at penthouse apartments in the old Battersea power station overlooking the Thames, and I thought, yeah, that'd be nice. And I actually got round, in your head, you're like, yeah, it's going to happen. So I was looking at these apartments, like 8.5 million, 4-bedroom sort of penthouse apartment overlooking the Thames. I thought Gorilla would be sweet there, yeah. The things we do.
In comes Gleeson, and full toss, pulled, one bounce.
Oh dear. Jesus, he's getting mullered.
That was the question, though. There's got to be more chance of winning our own version of the lottery rather than the Euro Millions.
Yeah, there is.
People.
There is, but there's so little chance of winning either that I figure if I'm going to win one, I might as well do the Euros.
You go big.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why not? Why not, after all?
Well, the jackpot, what did someone won? An English person won, was £193 million 2 weeks ago. I mean, that's an insane amount of money.
As Stubbs, I think he's been hit in the face there. Actually, he's Russo. He's gone over to play a little reverse lap sweep, and it's a full of a good length ball. He's tumbled over trying to play it, and I think he's been hit in the face, possibly under the helmet. It hit him in the neck, is what he's signalling.
Sure, that's painful, man.
That's nasty.
He does run around in his crease, so it's like looking at a little jack in the box.
Yeah.
He sort of starts in one place, and then the next minute he's over there. He's over there. Like, mate, stay still. I'm not surprised he's been smacked in the face.
That's what you got to do. It's got to do. It's T20, isn't it?
Entirely self-inflicted as well, because the ball was about shin height, but because he was falling over, he's effectively headed the ball with his neck.
We're going to see a replay. I'd like to see a replay.
I think they're just making sure that he's not going to, have serious injury before they show us replays, but it doesn't look like it. He's can't.
He's doing a fish impression at the moment with his jaw.
Well, being hit in the neck in cricket has a lot of baggage. So
yeah, true.
Over he falls. It comes up off his glove and just smacks him in the side of the neck. Not ideal.
No, just under the ear, wasn't it?
Yeah. Cue David Warner's helpful comments.
Yeah.
He's going to have trouble eating tomorrow, though, and it all swells up and be nasty.
Yeah, true.
So, have you just had a young child, Jules, as the commenters were referencing?
Yes, I have. Last September. And
congratulations.
Thank you. She's probably been to more cricket grounds than the average human being of that age, so she's doing all right so far in life.
Very, very good plan. Excellent parenting.
I think so. It's possibly lazy parenting. Just take her to cricket grounds. Look at green.
I suppose that's a good excuse, isn't it? How did she deal with the heat though in the other week? That must have been quite difficult.
Yeah, she was actually pretty much all right. Her hair just went mental in the heat. That was it.
Oh, cool. All frizzy.
Yeah. Yes.
Nice.
It looked like she'd been plugged in somewhere. And I think considering she did well, but I know other people's little ones struggled in the heat, understandably.
Yeah,
I think they all struggled in the heat, let alone the little ones.
Totally.
First birthday coming up soon. That's exciting.
They don't know what's going on. You don't have to actually do anything, trust me.
Yeah.
Get them something they can blow out, cut the boxes, they'll be fine.
I'll just give a cardboard box.
Yeah, just an empty box in wrapping paper. They have no idea.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Totally. Lots of layers, that's good.
Well, that's how the bear parents his children anyway.
And back to the cricket.
Back to the cricket. Russo has a go at that one. He cuts it out. It's a full toss again. It's going to go to the boundary again for one of these.
There's not one boy for me, I must have 2 or 3, I need 4.
But it's one of those things that all parents pass on to all other parents who've had younger kids, and no one takes the blindest bit of notice anyway.
Your kids
And you will tell this to someone in about 15 years' time. You go, it's pointless. I don't know why I did it. But when you do it, you go, it's really important because we just do.
I bet your kids really look forward to Christmas there.
They always get what they want at Christmas. What do you think I am?
All the empty boxes they could possibly desire.
Man,
An empty Xbox box.
Well, no, I'll tell you one thing. Christmas does actually get easier when they get older because they actually want something. And when they're kids, you just buy endless amounts of plastic. They bash around with and destroy pretty quickly, it has to be said.
As Topley's back into the attack, Stubbs will face up. The problem I always have is now that I'm in my 20s and all my friends are in my 20s, none of us have any money, but none of us want anything.
Yeah.
So, so it's really hard to buy for people. as that's in the air. High, is it
Oh.
long enough? It's bounced well short of the fielder, actually. It's not anywhere near long enough. It's straight up in the air. And Bairstow running in couldn't quite get to it, and they'll get a single. And Topley's probably a little frustrated by that.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? When you get old enough, you buy what you want when you want it, you know.
My girlfriend's the absolute worst. She never wants anything.
Yeah, my wife's the same, but then moans when I don't get the right thing.
It's just, what do I buy? I have no idea.
Surprise me.
No.
Or she'll go, I want a Prada handbag that costs $3,000.
I've never had that problem. As Russo backs away and Topley follows him, and it gets off his pad. They're going to get a leg by. That's all that happened, that ball. But yeah,
that ball. It looked like it was going to be a wide, and he sort of chased after it.
Well, I think Topley was chasing after him in a sense. He did a massive step back, and Topley just kind of followed him, spearing it in towards his pads. Otherwise, it would be huge. Would have been a test match by. Yeah, no one I've ever known has asked me for a Prada handbag before, but maybe I've got that to look forward to. As short from Topley, and gets the applause from Joss Butler as Stubbs pulls, misses, and it goes through to the iridescent green gloves of the keeper. If I used the word iridescent correctly, I think I have, but I have no idea.
Iridescent isn't glowing of some description?
I think I've done that right. I think I've pulled it off. I think I shouldn't have doubted myself. I should have just said it with confidence.
Absolutely.
And pretended like I knew what I was talking about.
Shall I get some tweets in?
Yeah, do.
Dave Wood said the Bear would turn Gorilla Towers into a cannabis factory if he won the lottery. I would not. I would have no need to, would I? I'd be sorted. Warren says Bear is channeling Martin Luther King. I have a dream. Bear, I have these dreams. Do bears dream of electric sheep? Says Ravi Nair.
As driven up the ground by Topley, and Roy at deep long off will come round to pick it up. Not by Topley, by Stubbs. Topley's the bowler, and Stubbs get 2. If you do win the lottery, Bear, I think actually a cannabis factory would not be the worst idea, since legalisation is meant to be only about 10 years away. You could make an absolute mint.
Well, I could do, and if it was legal, I would do.
Someone would have to keep your hands off the merchandise, but you know.
Yeah, maybe.
The Bear knows. Bear knows what is the danger of putting him in a cannabis factory. As in comes Topley, left arm over the wicket to the rounders. Stubbs, who sweeps, sort of a pull sweep type thing, and get out to long on for a single. Russo back on strike. He's on 76 and 43, and South Africa 175 for 3, with 1 ball remaining in the 17th over.
18 balls left. Then we've got to be looking at, ideally, probably want to get to 220 if they could.
Yeah.
If England can keep them down to 200, it would be stunning. Somewhere in the 205 might give them a shout. It's going to be a hard chase anyway, whatever.
I also think it might put the jitters even more on Roy, given how badly he's doing at the moment, opening up with this and chasing.
Yeah.
Speaking of cannabis factories, Alex Hales was mentioned earlier as a potential replacement.
Well,
as Russo clips him the leg side, they'll probably get 2 from that. No, they just get the 1. No, they do get 2. The Sky little... Oh no,
they got 1. They got one.
Sky are hopping around their little strike indicator.
They're not sure. The man's been smoking too much. Right. Leah says, I also have dreams, Bear. In some of them, I kill every Russian in Moscow by dropping Scotch bonnet peppers from a B-52. Should I seek help? Yes. Jay says, Max has made me feel so guilty. I put we get on air because of the Bear t-shirt on. He's still not sending us any more money though. That's fine, Jay. You have done a sterling job. Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot, fuck me, is $1.2 billion.
Oh, blimey.
Jesus. Yeah, hopefully you'll win, Zip. If you do, just send us a cheeky 50 mil. That'll hardly dent anything. Ravinair says, Jules, we need pics of her, please. I think that's your baby. Jay Grover says, not missing.
God.
I don't think you can really ask
that tweet was going for a minute. Blimey.
Not messing. I'm 44 and still get excited about cardboard boxes. To be fair, I'm retarded, says Jay. Farong, I have your dream rickshaw ready and waiting for you. Thanks, Farong. I'll take that.
Jordan. Russo jumps wide, plays into the leg side. They'll get out into the deep. Will they get 2 or just 1? Yeah, they'll get 2, I think. Yeah, I was going to say on the pictures thing, we're not that desperate for money. That's not a Patreon tier. God.
No.
No. Calm down, Gorilla Twitter. Any news on? Speaking of which, any news on Farong's parade, Lady Godiva like down?
Well, he got away with it, didn't he? Because South Africa didn't win.
Right.
But it was looking dicey for a minute there the other day when Stubbs was smashing 6 out of the park.
As in comes Jordan, full toss, Russo down the ground, high, long,
Jesus,
6.
that was a miss-hit. Maybe not the biggest boundaries today as well. Let's have a jingle.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6.
Empo was saying the other night he's a bit of a biffer, is Russo, once he gets going.
Demonstration.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were listening yesterday, Jules, but Farong said that if South Africa won, he would parade on a rickshaw down the streets of his local town in naught but a gorilla cricket shower curtain to cover his modesty.
Would he be arrested?
Well,
more than likely.
You never know, because South Africa didn't
He was so certain it wasn't going to happen, and then in the middle it was getting a little bit dicey.
We were all very disappointed. We were expecting to have to ship out the shower curtain at a moment's notice. As Russo again, big agricultural heave, gets it over the top of 2 fielders. Not by much though, but it will go away for one of these.
I love the fact that wherever you are in the world, there's always 4 blokes in their sort of mid-60s, arms folded, looking very disapprovingly at the cricket, even though there are 4, so just for benefit of everybody listening, there are like 3 or 4 sort of South African guys in the crowd looking very disapproving at the shot that was just done by Russo, even though he's batting out the park at the moment.
Well, you know.
Rumour has it, wherever you are.
Nice straight elbow, Jules. You've got to have a straight elbow.
Yeah.
Those old boys are thinking.
We think it might be the same 4 blokes wherever it is, from Pakistan to Sri Lanka to Stevenage.
No, we're in my day.
As in comes Jordan again, and this time a reverse scoop doesn't hit him in the neck, but I don't think he's got hold of it, and gone through to Butler, not too far away from the stump.
Well, my hope of getting 205 has gone down the tubes. It's definitely looking more like 220 now.
Nutmegged him, that one. The reverse scoop again falling over. It was a Yorker length delivery. He's missed it completely, and it's gone through his legs. Thankfully didn't catch anything on the way through. That would really have been not a lucky night for Riley Russo.
You know that all players have like stats tracking their steps and everything. Do you think Riley Russo has extra just because he runs around the crease so much?
Quite possibly. The GPS is going off heavily as that's heaved out into the leg side, bounces short of the fielder. Single takes Russo to 90 from 49 delivery. He's going strong.
Well, I forgot to mention GPL again tonight, didn't we? Hence no
Damn it, Bear.
It's difficult. It's only 45 minutes. T20s, everything happens.
You've got things on the wall, pieces of paper with capital letters saying mention the GPL.
Has that ship now sailed?
Yes, it's only open for 45 minutes.
Oh well.
Oh well, exactly.
We move on.
No money for us.
It works better in tests anyway. We get more people in tests, and it gets quite feisty towards the end of the day. Last pop was 230 odd quid, 40 quid.
In comes Jordan. Stubbs, who gets that down the track.
Oh,
there's a bad misfield from. Is that Moeen Ali? I think it is. And it lets them through for 2. And that ends the over with South Africa 191 for 3 with 2 overs remaining.
Right, where are we? Brian says, I thought it was 1.02 billion. Well, you can take the cash option for 600 mil. If I hit, I'll buy 49% of GC and give you all the money you want. Thanks, Brian. Go. Get that winning ticket. Mike says, yeah, it's same things. 602 million if you take the cash, minus all the taxes. See, over here you don't get taxed if you win. Gambling money you don't get taxed on. So if you win the lottery, you get the full amount. But still, if you win 602 million and take all the taxes off, it's still 359.7 mil. You know, is that enough?
I, for one, would relish my existence as a corporate worker bee under the almighty auspices of my best friend, Brian Barrett.
Warren says, thankfully it wasn't a bear playing tennis, as it would have eaten the monkey for such insolence. And he said,
not the bear eating the monkey.
Yeah, well, this is a different bear. Well, apparently it's not. Monkey hired to carry towels for tennis players, resigns on first day of work. Send in a video, Warren. That's quite fun.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
And speaking of oh dear, Sam Curran's back onto bowl.
Ah, dear, oh dear. He doesn't get a
Yes,
second.
indeed.
What's with the anti-Sam Curran?
I just don't think he's very good. As Russo tries to prove me right by heaving him backward a square on the leg side, but doesn't get him all the way to the boundary, and Reece Topley's down there to collect and make sure they only get through for one. Yeah, I struggle with Curran. I think, first of all, he's going through an interesting process at the moment where the bowling all-rounder becomes fundamentally a batsman who bowls a bit. And I think when we tried him in the test team past that 2018 India series, he's not a great test bowler because he's only 75 miles an hour.
Yeah. And
doesn't really add too much with the bat compared to his bowling. As Stubbs heaves him long, back over his head, and we'll get 6 for it.
We're getting tumped here. Yeah, I don't mind Sammy Curran, but he's just not quick enough. He's one of these bowlers that's just not quick enough at the top level.
I also don't like his face.
You don't like his face, did you say?
Especially his face when he runs into bowling, sort of scrunches it all up and looks like a pug. I don't like it.
Oh, okay. Man.
No offence to the man himself.
Clearly,
he seems very nice.
Being a bit harsh on him, that's all.
Wow. I'm just an unforgiving bastard. As he's heaved into the leg side again, and it's bounced short of the man at long on, Moeen Ali there, and they'll get through for a single. 199 South Africa, so just the loss of 3 wickets.
Riley Russo, 91 or 50 deliveries, Christ. Dangerous.
He's been swinging from the hip, has Russo, and effectively so. Yeah, well, in comes Curran again, 0.35 off his 3.3. And that's pulled hard along the ground, but there are 2 men out there, and one of them will come around and get it. Is that someone slipped? I think
Russo
again.
Russo has slipped over. They looked for 2, and Stubbs had to go back because Russo slipped over at the non-striker's end. Is looking a bit
knackered.
unhealthy.
Knackered is the word you're looking for.
He could be a bit groggy after his hit as well.
Yeah, possibly.
Well, Stubbs is on. Preston Stubbs, interesting. I always think he should be called something like Gregory and be English. But no, Tristan Stubbs of South Africa.
Yeah, Stubbs is a very English name.
As that's struck him on the pads, they've gone for the run out. Sam Curran's missed it. He would have been out by a mile. He had all 3 stumps to aim at, and Curran, well, I feel happy that I've been proved right, but he's just completely missed it. Good God. Stubbs is about halfway down the pitch. Oh.
It's a terrible throw as well, just the way he
picks up, could have, and he's a yard wide. All 3 stumps to
That's
aim
another thing to hate Sam Curran for, Jules.
Blimey, with his strong hand as well, he got it with his left. That's pretty poor.
He just sort of flung it. It was horrendous.
As that short pulled that by Russo, wide by Curran.
Yeah, down
You feel a sense of satisfaction at the moment. You're being completely proved right.
Yeah.
My vindication is bittersweet, but I am enjoying it slightly. He will always have the fact that he got Virat Kohli, though. He will always have... It was while Kohli was in the worst run of his career, but he got Virat Kohli.
He was a bit of a bunny for Kohli, wasn't he, at one point?
I think he got him twice across, or 3 times across 2 series. So, not really. And Anderson's the guy who kind of bunnied
Wow.
Kohli as much as anyone has. As Russo gets that up to long on for 1, he reached 93. Final over, 203 for 3.
Right.
Waiting there.
Okay, Jay says, I think he'd be arrested for being the only man in the world stupid enough to buy a gorilla cricket shower curtain. The only other person stupid enough to buy a gorilla cricket shower. I presume that's for wrong. Rabbi says, England are doing to South Africa what South Africa did to England yesterday, dropping and misfielding to give them an extra 40 runs. This is kind of true. Neil Harris says, Scotch bonnet peppers. My Scotch bonnets are being scorched by the sun. It's so hot in SC, Southern California.
Maybe, yeah. South Carolina.
South Carolina. That would make more sense. Jay Goreva says, because I'm an idiot and Max is young, I demand a Curran Max death match. I don't like the Curran's face either, so I'll tap in with a hammer. And either of you are bloody pulp. That's nice to hear, Jay. Farong says, Commonwealth Games opening ceremony commentary during the change of innings. Wow. Black Sabbath on the card. Well, they're a brum band. Have they got Ozzy coming over? Jesus.
God. I don't know if he'd survived the trip. Do you think they just kind of sedate him in a coffin in a sort of freight carrier and just track him over to Birmingham, wheel the coffin out on stage, and then he just collapses out of it?
And they're all about that old, to be fair.
As that's wide and full by Jordan. Russo gets under it, but not a great deal of distance. It bounces just short of Bairstow. They'll get through for 1. Russo will hope that Stubbs doesn't go boundary dot, boundary dot, boundary, and deny him his 100. He's on 94, so he's only 1 blow away if he gets back on strike.
Yeah.
But we all obviously are projecting jinxes in our mind because we're exceptionally biased as a commentary team.
Yeah, we are tonight.
Well, we usually are, let's be honest.
Pro-England,
Some of us
anti-Sam
are, some of
Curran.
us are.
But considering we have Gorilla SA as well.
Yeah.
As that's short and not signal the wide. Stubbs not entirely happy about it because it's gone over his head, but he's had a pull at it, missed it. It's gone through to Butler. And his iridescent glove.
Well, no, it's
He
not.
did duck
it's
down
not
a
wide.
bit.
He ducked down a bit and it just went past his helmet. It's 1 for the over, though.
So Jordan will walk back to the top of his mark as Stubbs does a little bit of gardening in the middle of the pitch, gets back to his crease, and marks his guard again, faces up, has a look around. Something will happen in a moment. Cricket will break out as Jordan starts to run in. Ooh, a big old heave from Stubbs as we all ooh and ah and ee. He just had a big old heave. It missed the stumps by half a yard. Ooh, not even that.
Ooh.
Not even that. Couple of inches. Wow.
Shaved the paint, that did. Jesus.
Gee.
Cut back in from Jordan off the seam, and it's Stubbs is lucky he hasn't had his off stump rattled there, as Butler's got 1 glove off down the back of his trousers to prepare for the run out, we assume, but if he gets one on the end of the thumb like that could be awfully
that
painful.
could be, yes, exactly.
As that's full toss territory, low full toss. Stubbs heaves out to the leg side, goes to Bairstow, and Russo, with 2 balls remaining, 2 legitimate delivery, has, 2 balls, failing any wides, no balls, etc., to get to his 100. He's on 94 currently from 53, and South Africa 205 for 3. So a 6 and a 6 here would be what he would like. But Jordan's bowled well this final over, 1.1 with 2 balls remaining. So far we're getting the good Chris Jordan. Will we get the terrible Chris Jordan again in the last 2 balls of this over? Let's see.
Do you like anyone in cricket?
I like a few. Most of them aren't in the England team. As in comes Jordan, Russo down the pitch, it's in the air, it's not going to get to the boundary. They'll come back for 2, they're sprinting hard, Butler's there, but no, they get home, and Russo moves to 96 with 1 ball remaining. What drama! It's almost as if this is real cricket.
Wow, is he going to get his ton? Skewed off the outside edge down at the short, fine third man for 4 is my bet.
He's already got his helmet off, a bit premature, but I think he's just readjusting the strap or something. You may be forgiven, Jules, for coming on and thinking that I don't actually like cricket. But I promise you, I am a fan.
Well, you seem to understand it.
Thank you, I try. I'm just also a huge cynic and a sarcastic bastard. But all that ceases to matter now as Jordan's in, Russo walks across, he's missed it! It's gone through to Butler, he's thrown it back to Jordan by missing the stumps at the striker's end. We finish with a dot. Russo 96 not out of 55, Stubbs 15 not out of 12. South Africa 207 for 3 after their 20 overs. And how do we see it for England's chase? Jules and Bear.
You go first, Jules.
You know what? I'm going to be really optimistic and completely jinx it and say Roy will get 50. There you go. And that will set us up for the win. Or set England up for the win, sorry, technically.
Well, 207 I think is within the realms of possibility. I think that was actually a very good last over from Jordan, and he went for 4. It's only got 14 runs there, and then 220. It'd have been, it's skating the realms of possibility. But 200, it doesn't look a particularly hard wicket to bat on. Boundaries aren't particularly big. We've got some big hitters. Question is, can we string it together? Question is, you got to go from the off, and the question is, do you lose those early wickets trying to chase the power play? If you do, probably end up losing the game. If you end up only 1 or 2 down at the end of the power play and 55, 60 on the board, you fancy your chances of probably getting there with a lineup. I mean, England have got a phenomenal lineup going down at 7 and 8, haven't they? I mean, you've got Livingston at what, 6, 7 as a finisher.
We bat deep.
We bat deep. We bat very deep. So
I feel almost overwhelmed by the sunny optimism of you two. As the heir apparent to Hendo's brand of self-hating, cynical pessimism, I feel like that we need to balance these things out and say that England are going to lose. But actually, at 207 on the pitch as it is so far, with not a huge amount of movement off seam or spin, I'd say that I'd have to agree for once with the optimists and say that England are in with a shout, but it will be a tight game.
Yeah, I mean, Cardiff isn't a very big ground either, so there's a good chance that runs can be scored. They're pretty much close to the centre. It's not really a short side; it's short all around. Let me get some last tweets in.
While you do that, because I'm on after this, I'm going to go and finish some of my dinner.
Okay, you go and do that.
10 minutes.
Okay, Jay Grover says, comparing Anderson to Curran is like me waving a dick doodle I did on a napkin in the Sistine Chapel. Okay. Diane Patton says, the Bear thinks it's terrible to criticise someone's face, but if their face is... but their fat is fair game. People who live in glass houses should keep their stones in the right place. No, you can criticise me for being fat. I am fat. So there you go. Atherton is Ultimate Bunny. Is the Ultimate Bunny, taken 17 times each by Walsh, Ambrose, and the record 19 times by Glenn McGrath. Indeed. Let's have a look here. Ravi says, no, that's what I've done. Jay, lastly, says, I've said this before about Max. He's either had too many kickings or not enough. And on that, we're going to have a briefest of brief breaks and bring you something. What are we going to bring you? Literally, it's going to be about 2 seconds. So it's going to be a random game from the Dick Well Abroad Trophy. And it goes like this.
away from these Zoom sessions and think about it for the rest of the day. I want them to, have to call a friend and have to, confide in them how hurt they feel. I'm really enjoying inflicting some misery on people this tournament.
Well, you, for the record, of course, your naughty boys beat Hendo's Fat Lads by 4 wickets last time out. Other key persona today, our scorer and social media conduit, is the amazing Jules Farman, who, of course, in 2017 got to ring the Lord's bell as a cricket community champion. But surely, Jules, that's not a patch on today, is it?
No. If there anything, scoring at the home of cricket that is Trent Bridge is massively up there.
And of course, rolling and tumbling the dice for your viewing and listening pleasure, our very own shining star, Ursa Major, the Great Bear.
Thank you very much.
We all set and ready to go, Bear?
Yeah, we are.
Fantastic. Just a very quick reminder that during this whole Dick Well Abroad Owlsat Trophy, we are running the Dick Well Abroad Owlsat Very Loud Appeal, which is to help the amazing work of the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation in their work in prevention and cure for juvenile type 1 diabetes. There is a Just Giving page that's all over our social media. You can also, if you just Google Just Giving Dick Well Abroad, you will find it. If you give £15 or more, half of that goes immediately to support the incredible work of JDRF. So do please help us and help them out. But to business today here at Trent Bridge. Let's go to the toss. Atif, are you going to call for us?
Yes, I will call. So we got a coin?
We got a coin.
Okay, I call heads.
Oh, went out.
There we go. What were we saying earlier?
Tails it is.
Ooh, I think I'm going to field first, I think. Going to put the naughty boys in, give them a chance to misbehave early.
Oh boy, okay, it's first time batting first, let's do this.
Okay, Atif, do you just want to quickly run us through your batting lineup, and then I'll do the same for my lads?
Absolutely. So at the top, I've got Hansi Kronia opening the batting with Mohammad Azruddin, both lovely chaps who you'd be happy to bring along to dinner, as long as that dinner was
in a prison.
Yeah, in lockdown, I was going to say.
Oh.
Yeah, sure. Number 3, we've got someone who's who's definitely he's never short on bags. Is Alan Lamb. Then we got Lou Vincent. He's pretty cool. He's a lovely guy. He's always pays for dinner. Weird. Then we got Salim Malik, who is very used to those face masks that we wear in quarantine. He's had to wear them for quite some time. We've got Umar Akmal, who's very excited to play this tournament. It might be the only cricket he has to play anymore, since his brother broke his PlayStation. We've got Shakib-ul Hasan, the pride of Bangladesh. Marlon Samuels, who's looking stout as ever. Chris Lewis, fantastic, lovely guy. And Muhammad Asif, yeah, off cutters, leg cutters, whatever kind of grass cutters, he'll sell them all. And of course, you got Danish Canaria, Essex legend, and familiar with many wonderful institutions in the UK.
Hendo's favourite cricketer, seeing as he's named after a pastry.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. That's my lineup.
Okay, well, the bespectacled lads who are going to be just about stumbling their way out, falling over themselves as they go from the Trent Bridge dressing room. Geoffrey Boycott, Eddie Barlow, doyen of Derbyshire as he once was. David Steele, paid of course in lamb chops for that, for everything he does.
And we're back. James, hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm alright. Well, Jacob should be back, but I think he might be eating his dinner. They were literally off for about 3 minutes there. And I didn't even have time to go for a piss, for Christ's sake.
I felt very sorry for him. There's something desperate in the way that he said it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he is supposed to be doing a ball by ball, so I'll give it a go until he gets back. Actually, they're not out there, are they? St. Gidi, I thought he was actually fucking getting out there doing his... Right, I'm going to go and have a piss. Do you want to go off for a second?
Yeah, I'll look out of a window. I'll see you in a bit.
I'll see you in a sec.
Abbas, MJK Smith, my captain and erstwhile passenger of the Bear during the World Cup, the still nervous Clive Lloyd, Dick Young, the wicketkeeper, the redoubtable the star of our theme tune, Percy Fender, Alf Valentine, of course, he of the famous Calypso. One change to my team, Jack Leach, being a man from Somerset, had an unfortunate accident when he trod on a rake and smacked him in the eye, breaking his glasses, so Paul Allott is in for him, and Devon Malcolm is the sharp end of my attack. So should we get to the game? Atif, I think you're taking us through the first session.
I think you are.
Let's rock and roll.
Right, we've got Hansi Cronje on strike. Who's he facing up to first up?
That's a very good question. He will be facing... We might as well open with Devon. Put it right up his nose from the first over.
Okay.
And who's the non-striker batter?
The one at the
other end.
And is Mohamed. It's been a while. Sorry. The other guy is Mohamed Azruddin.
That's the words. Right, let's have some jingles. It's Hansi.
Is someone operating the website score card thing there?
Yes.
Always were a problem for you. So Hansi, tell me, what would Jesus do? Selling out the game, and what did you achieve? Hansi Cronje.
It's a bit harsh, but there you go. He is a naughty boy, and here's Devon.
Oh, Devon, Malcolm Devon, and his neck so small that you can hardly see. And in '94 the ciphers fell one by one. 9 for 57 from Devon Malcolm.
A bit Gladstone Small in there, isn't he?
Well, I think
we're back.
Yeah, and it's we'll do some jingles. It's this man to bowl and this man to bat.
Okay.
And these men to bat.
It's this man to bowl, bat.
Duckworth Lewis loves you. The clouds part for you. Nothing stands in your way when you're a Roy.
This man bowling.
What's his name? He's a high roller, rock and roller, scariest, deadliest, killingest bowler. He can sink your oats like the Spanish Armada. No one faster, no one harder. What's his name? What's his name?
His name is Kagiso Rabada, and his first ball is left alone, and it's a wide.
Yay! We're off the mark.
Wide.
So I managed to get my piss in. How are you, James?
I'm good. I was worried for you there.
Yeah.
I've heard all that stuff about bears and woods, but pisses I never knew exactly where you... I was figuring you might have gone to the nearest forest, but...
Well, there is one out the back. Well, there's a tree out the back. There's a few trees out the front.
As Rabada's in, Roy fends off the back foot, beats the field. He's going to go for one of these.
Ooh, that'll make him good.
We had a piss-based conversation in the group chat earlier because Tony revealed that his holiday destination is full of youth water sports amateurs. So he's quick to clarify that it was the beachfront kind. Although I did put to him that witnesses have seen him at Torture Garden of an evening, to which he said he would have gone yesterday, but he was a little tied up. As Roy drives straight to mid-off.
He's on golden shower tours. Good to see them still in operation.
Yeah, well,
they do cricket tours as well.
I wonder which cricketer would be most likely to lead one of those tours.
Oh God! You're asking for a libel suit there, James.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I want to get you guys into trouble.
That be libel? No, libel's written, isn't it? Slander, defamation. You're asking for a defamation suit. That
To be honest, I'll go for all three.
That's hard
Count
to do.
me out.
Unless you whack it in this maximum. As that's an inside edge on pad from Roy. They'll get the single. The ball goes to non-strikers, but Roy is well safe, as the kids say. And mid-on will bat stop.
He's got a little spring in his step, Roy. I don't know if he fancies it tonight or if he thinks, on the basis that it's always the next game that this is his night.
well, I think in T20 you've got to put the last innings behind. I mean, it may be slightly different in ODIs, but the way they play in all these formats, you've got to try that, haven't you? I mean, we all know what he can do. He's just had he's scored 2 40s and all the white ball stuff the entire summer, which isn't really Jason Roy like. You want a bit more out of him.
Well, as he's come to be known, Jotler, as Max called him, will now face up and get an outside edge immediately. And there's a sort of deep gully type position, short third man, deep gully, who will feel that it's dropped well short. That's the Butler we know and love. Outside edge, first ball to.
There we go. It'd be interesting to see what lengths and lines South Africa bowled here, because I kind of felt that England didn't get that quite right, or they were kind of grasping their way towards it throughout the whole innings.
As in comes KG Rabada, and that's down the leg side, beautifully taken by Quinton de Kock, and he's appealed. I don't think there's bat on it. It should have been given a wide, I think.
No, there was definitely... No? It went. I think it must have gone off the pad. Yeah. There was definitely movement.
We'll have a look.
Yeah, outside of the pad.
Yeah, off the pad, yeah. Good take by de Kock there, really full stretch.
Very nicely done. As in comes Rabada again, and Butler is driving to mid-off. They won't get a thing. No, they won't. And that ends the first over, 6 from it.
Well,
Roy.
O'Neill Harris asked, what is the premise behind the Dick Weatherboard trophy? I couldn't understand it then, and just thought everyone at GC Radio was either drunk, high, or going insane. The premise behind it was in lockdown, and there was absolutely no sport on. So we decided that we couldn't... Everyone here is so totally inept with computers and stuff that we couldn't do a game station version. So we needed something that was a slam dunk easy that everyone could understand. So we came up with doing How's That live. And the teams were picked. You could have anyone in your side. So in the tradition of dice cricket, you could have Fat Bastards 11 or the Hairy Bastards or whoever. They could be from any era, and they could all play on the same side. In fact, there was 2 Ian Bothams and 2 W.G. Graces playing each other, older generations and younger generations. And it was all quite entertaining.
As Lungi Ngidi is in, and Roy defends off the back foot for no run. It is worth saying to O'Neill Harris that the Dick Weatherboard trophy occurring and everyone at Guerrilla Cricket being drunk, high or going insane are not mutually exclusive phenomena.
I wasn't going to say that, Jacob, but since you say it, it's very true.
But they can both be the case.
And one might explain the other.
Indeed, as O'Neill posited. As Lungi Ngidi is in again, striding powerfully. He does look a powerful man, and one suspects he is, as that's played into mid-on by Jason Roy, and they will still get a single.
We haven't had the other 2 jingles, have we? This man.
Domination is the name of the game. In cricket or life, they're both just the same. So go get the guy who can turn the day. Let's play Lungi Ngidi. Let's play
Lungi Ngidi and
Pryor ain't no loss, 'cause we found someone Sutler. Okay, he can't spell Joss, but he also can't spell Butler. Joss Butler.
Joss Butler is driving out to the offside. Don't think there'll be a single there. No, there won't. And he stays on strike to Lungi Ngidi.
He's annoyed with himself there, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Didn't time it in any way. And I guess that's the pressure. And I don't think it's a big score. I think it's probably like a par score, isn't it? But I guess that's the pressure of 200 plus. Is you start niggling at yourself a little when you don't get it away.
Here comes Ngidi again, and that's off the leg from Butler, and he will get off the mark now. He might even get back to 2 as Maguire comes round, picks it up. Yeah, they'll get 2. I can't emphasise enough, as Lungi Ngidi bulked up a bit or something, he looks really strong.
He looks big, doesn't he? Yeah. He looks really big.
Well, Ngidi, he is. He's a strong man.
Well,
he's another one who's had injury problems, though, isn't he? Didn't he have problems with his back or something? That's fast bowlers.
Well, he's also blossomed into quite a good little test bowler.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, often overshadowed by Rabada, but still excellent in his own right. As Butler up in the air, down towards third man, and it's not going to get to him. It's going to bounce in front of him, but it was outside edgy from Butler as he attempted to go over extra cover.
No, I think you're right. It's similar. Do you remember after like his first year of Test cricket, Rabada suddenly bulked up massively, and it was really noticeable. I thought that last night actually. I thought Ngidi, looks like he's hit the gym quite a few times.
Well, they probably need to get fitter and stronger, don't they? You realise?
Yeah,
I mean, that's probably what Ollie Robinson needs to realise.
And I mean, after this ball, as Ngidi's in and Roy has a big old hack at it and misses it on the top edge. Rabada was a skinny lad when he started. He was he was young, wasn't he? He was 19.
He was very young. He was very young.
Properly skinny. But now he's a strong young man.
They haven't gone the Bairstow route yet. The full kind of gamma ray exposure.
Yeah.
Bulking up.
Yeah. Let me get some tweets in quickly. Dave Wood said, "Who was the Safu who pissed up against a tree? Dwayne Olivier? That's your Golden Showers tour host." Probably right. Mark Zip says twines in with Keyswetter for that guy. I don't know. Jay Grover says, "What I love about the Dice Cricket Tournament is that Atif, a paid professional performer, seemed out of sorts, whereas Hendo embraced some kind of glorious inner hyper-competitive entertainer."
Is Dwayne Olivier in the Test squad? Because he had a really good start to Test cricket.
I think he is, and it was Keyswetter who peed up against a tree.
As Butler gets it off his leg. And for a single, it was Olivier and what's he called, Marco Janssen, the tall left armer who both had brilliant starts to their careers in New Zealand.
Yeah,
Janssen a bit before that, I think. But
I think Janssen was pretty good against the Indians, wasn't he, when he was there in South Africa?
Yeah,
during the end.
And he's an interesting one because he bowls around 83 miles an hour, but because he's got that height and a left arm angle, he's very difficult to face. So he bumps that down the ground for a single.
As Reece Topley would be in a Test side, but hey.
Yeah, you're very much a Reece Topley flag waver bear, aren't you?
Definitely in this form. I don't know if he'd be any good in the Test side, but I just think when compared to the other left-handers that we've got, i.e. Sam Curran and Willie, he's a cut above in height, pace, and pretty much everything.
Goes to gather the ball and chucks it out his hand and lost his run up a bit, so dead ball.
The other thing he can contribute to the Test team is we don't have enough players who look like anime characters, and Reece Topley looks like someone squarely out of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It is astonishing. So if only for that reason we should get him in.
Yeah, he's a bit Desperate Dan, isn't he? I mean, that's just that big square jaw with his sort of neatly
and the
trimmed.
hair.
Yeah, the neatly trimmed.
And Rabada, in he comes. This time manages to hold on to the ball before he releases it. Cool. And is played up over cover by a cut shot from Butler. There's good work in the field by the man on the boundary, and they'll just get through to two as Pep McGuire is patted on the head for his excellent boundary saving effort there. Although Janssen is taller still even than Topley. He's like 6'9" or something ridiculous. He's Janssen. He's a very lanky bloke.
It's interesting what South Africa are doing here, because it does strike me that short of length and lots of variations of pace might be the way to go here.
They're certainly trying it, aren't they?
Yeah,
and it's not coming
but it
through.
makes sense with that short boundary just hitting straight down the ground. Sort of makes sense.
As in comes Rabada again. Short, pulled, hard.
All the way?
Long enough?
Yeah, looks all the way. The crowd are raising their hands.
6.
It's like the Roman centurion might have caught it.
He does seem happy with himself. And thank you, James, for dragging my conversation, kicking and screaming, back to the game in front of us, as I was wistfully thinking off into the future of Test cricket.
That was a nice hit. That's the problem with if you do it too often.
Yeah.
It's going to be picked up eventually. Ooh.
As Butler drives and is stopped by the ring fielder. When they did get a single. When you said that, Bear, I thought you were talking about my complaining about the quality of T20 cricket and not the South African length.
Nah.
I thought I'd finally been picked up on being too much of a purist. But it was the South African length, which we were talking about, with the variation of pace, short for length, and that was bunted into the stand for 6. And then the next ball was a single. Final ball will be over to Roy, who dabs it backward a square on the offside, gets his bat back in as the throw comes in, and won't get a single. Looks very disappointed with himself. End of the over.
Oh, that's me. What have we got here? Oh my word, I've just envisaged Hendo in Madame Butterfly. What strange, unnatural beauty, says Jay.
Oh, God.
Yes. My ex, Jason Roy's got 7 now. He must be thinking his innings is pretty much done. And O'Neill says, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Is there anyone that GC Radio doesn't go? Is there anywhere that we don't go? I've not read. Is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? Is JoJo's Jojo and Rabbit, that film? Is that kind of
it's a suitably bizarre, it lives up to its name, manga and anime series that follows generations of the same family who kind of have superpowers, but all the characters are sort of drawn a little bit like Reese Topley with that haircut. They might have it bleached blonde, and its claim to fame is that all the characters are named after famous bands or songs, but then really badly translated into English, so it takes you time to work out what the hell they're talking about.
Well, I'm afraid I'm going to have to be the one to drag the conversation back
Yes.
to cricket. As I'm dealing with Pep Laquayo is he of the variously pronounced name is on to bowl.
Well, Empo told us it's Fet Laquayo.
Pep Laquayo, right. Well, I will...
Oh, good.
Well, whatever his name is, he's been bunted back into the stands, back over his head by Josh Butler.
Oh, that was hard. He got harsh treatment yesterday. He was the one guy they took apart. He went for 60, I think, in 4 overs.
Well, it's a hell of a statement of intent there by Butler. It feels like that 6 he got previously just suddenly clicked it, the kind of like the button into action, and he's going to go for it now. That was a tremendous shot off the back foot.
I just want to see him
over corner,
carrying on going for it and not getting out.
Well, he does again, and it's straight, long, 6.
I've 2 6s in a row, 2 6s in a row, 2 6s in a row.
He heard you, Bear.
Yes, I mean that's nicely picked up. Now the
That's
thing is,
full on swap.
Exactly. After being so disheartened last night, I was getting smashed for 2 6s first up today. What happens? Does he fall apart?
He just looks in the zone at the moment. It's incredible.
As he's in again, it's Pep Laquayo, and that's lifted over cover for 4. While I obviously defer to Empo's superior South African name knowledge, I find it hard to square Pep Laquayo with Empo, as opposed to either Pep Laquayo and Empo, or Pep Laquayo and Empo.
Yeah, well,
the vagaries of the English language. And
all you're asking for is consistency.
The thing is, it's not the English language, is it?
All 11 of the South African languages is that straight up in the air. It's coming down with a lot of knots on it, and it's caught. It's caught. 6, 6, 4, out. Josh Butler goes for 29. Some 13 deliveries, and England are 38.
It's annoying.
Well, it is. Also, one of the characteristics of that South African innings was that they mixed it up a bit, didn't they? They had plenty of slap and plenty of tickle, and Joss was just going for pure slap then, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I think that's
the
something
best
England
way
could
I've
remember.
ever heard that described.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, I think I need to use that in more often, just to describe pretty much everything which has gone too far one way. God, I quite like that.
I mean, you've got to You've got to kind of go out of traps. I mean, you do expect to lose 1 or maybe 2 wickets in the power play when you're chasing a score this hard. And his run rate was over 200 runs per 100 balls, so it's not wasted in terms of that. You just long to see him go on for the entire innings.
Back himself. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Introducing the next generation David.
That's not my name. That's not my name. That's not my name. That's not my name.
David Milan, congratulations.
Well, now we have the 2 South African sleeper agents at the crease being bowled at, so we can expect the collapse to come swiftly and without mercy.
I don't know.
One-time #1 T20 player in the world, David Milan, as I am legally obligated to say every time he comes to the crease.
It's like, do you remember that Wellman ad that had Jimmy Anderson on it, and underneath it had Jimmy Anderson, then in brackets, world's #2 bowler. It was one of the saddest things I've ever seen.
Except until we saw that Shane Warne hair loss commercial. As that's off the outside edge of Roy's bat, as he, in true Jason Roy style, a la Test Match Cricket 2019, got turned into an S playing a ball to the leg side and edged it behind. But luckily there weren't 5 slips in, so didn't get a run, but didn't get out.
No, he looks thoroughly perplexed by what happened there. I think if you explained it to him over the course of an hour with diagrams, he wouldn't get it.
As Roy this time walked out of his crease, dabbed down third man, but unfortunately there's a third man, a short third man, who collects it for no run.
Fucking swing his bat. Jay Grover says, "Fuck! I did not see the anime character /Topley connection. Now I cannot unsee." I've never even read JoJo, but you've got a horrible point. I think he looks like a character out of Team America, one of the marionettes. Dale Steyn took a photo pitting on the golf course, Carl Abbott, straight from his jingle. That's true. Carl Abbott was caught pitting on a golf course, and that was his jingle. Carl Abbott was quite good, and then he came to Colpack. Jay Grover says, never trust any South Africans about their nominatives. Regardless, race, class, gender, everyone has about 6 pronunciations about their little toe, which no one can agree on. Well, Kenya has, I think, about 40, 50 odd different tribal languages.
I know South Africa I don't know if they've updated it since I heard this statistic, but they have 11 official national languages. As Ngidi is over the wicket to Milan, who gets it off his pads and will get off the mark immediately with a single.
Didn't Milan just get to #1 being World T20 player by those 3 innings in New Zealand when we played T20s down there? That was about it.
And I think 1 innings in the forfeited, well not forfeited, the cancelled series in South Africa.
Didn't he get like 300s and a 90 or something in about 5 games, basically? And that's all it took.
And then
to
ended
get
up
to
as world #1 by cunningly not playing any IPL or anything like that.
Yeah, but they don't count because it's international rankings. That's why a lot of people, you'll hear Max and Jack go, it's bollocks. It doesn't count, it doesn't matter.
Well, the international rankings have always been ridiculous. I think they come out on a Wednesday, and I think the ICC effectively makes them up on a Tuesday. And if someone scores 100 that week, they move up 5 places. As Roy defends, no run.
He has got to be fair to him, he has got a very good average, hasn't he? I mean, he is averaging 40 plus, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I think he is a very good T20 player, and he gets a little overlooked and a bit maligned for that stat, but he is actually quite good. I mean, a lot of people's problems with him is he's quite slow to start with, but if he stays there, he motors on. I mean, if you look at his stats, if he gets in over 50 or something, he goes along at 260 per 100 balls, but his first 30 or 20 is not very good. Jason Roy.
What's happened there? Roy's walked across his stumps, attempted to play to the leg side, and as when you do that with a good length ball, there was a massive gap between his hip and his bat, and it's gone straight through said gap. And not too far, from his off stump.
If you're Jason Roy here, you've got to hit out or get out, because this is shite.
Yeah, you got to. I mean, there was a couple of South Africans started advancing down the wicket a little bit. That might not be a bad ploy for him at this point.
And he's 7 off 12, and he got 4 off his first shot.
There we go.
Well, he's had a swing at that. He's given himself room. Big swing, 1 bounce, I think. 4, yes.
Well, needs a bit more than that, really.
Well, I think so, but I think also he's playing with great timidity so far. So I think that's what we need to see more of. I mean, that dab shot that he's played a couple of times now, when he knows there's a fielder there, I think freeing his arms a little bit is the way to go for him.
Yeah, you can get away with a dab shot more in an ODI, but a T20, unless you're sure you're going to miss the fielder, especially in a power play. And they got two there as well, haven't they? They got two behind square on the offside.
Here's Ngidi again. Roy again, give himself room along the floor, powers it down the ground. The man running around from long on will pick it up. It's Keshav Maharaj, and Milan will be brought on to strike for single for the final ball of the over.
I think the other thing about Milan was he got thrown under the bus, didn't he, by Morgan? What was that, when he was on 99 and was trying to go for 100 or something, and Morgan slammed it for him, or refused to run at some point because he wanted to retain the strike, and Morgan came out and talked to the press and said, "That's not on. That's not a team player."
Yes, that was in one of those ODIs in
New Zealand.
In New Zealand, yes.
Yeah.
As he bottom edges that one onto, I think, his own box. He's crouched in somewhat of discomfort. I think he bottom edged the ball onto his own gentleman's area, but it ends the over with no run.
We don't have any more new tweets, so yeah, I think that was in the last over, one of the T20s in New Zealand, and basically there was about 2 or 3 balls left, and he mishit one that should have run for a single, and he didn't, and he still didn't get there, did he? He ended up having to take a single because he was eating up too many balls in the last over.
But Morgan came out and did an un-Morgan-like thing of just throwing him under the bus, and I don't know, I always sort of feel since that point he's seen as this almost like the Nick Compton of the white ball world, where he's just not a company
not a
man.
team player.
Yeah.
Maharaj will this next over, bit of spin. In he comes, the South Africa ODI captain for this series, but not the T20 captain. That's Clarkson. No, Miller.
No,
sorry, I get
Miller.
them confused. I always get them. They look sort of similar. Roy plays that down to mid-on for a sort of longish mid-on for no run. He's outside the circle, and they're bringing long off to a similar position on the offside. They might have pushed mid-on back to long on, as Roy again bunts that down, and they have pushed him back to long on, and they'll get a single consequently as Roy plays it in that area. I think they're realising that Roy is less likely to go into out.
He's useless.
Well, that he's not very good against left arm spin. He's not going to go into out. Instead, he's going to try and hack across the line and slog the cow or towards long on.
Yeah, and he's going for, I mean, to be fair to him, he's going for the shortest boundary, isn't it? I mean, if you didn't have a clue what you were doing, you'd try, and that's the easiest option for him at the moment. I mean, he totally mistimed the first one, didn't he? And the second one was a bit more like it, so maybe there'll be a third one that actually clears the ropes.
You hope so. I mean, if he does click, it could be, exciting.
Well, Milan's on to Maharaj. Sweeps in the air. Is there a fielder out there?
Nah.
No, there's not. A couple of bounces, runs along the floor. Out go away for one of these. No shot.
There's not one boy for me. I must have 2 or 3. I need 4.
And that's what Milan.
As on the anime theme, I think there's all Goku in the.
Either Goku or a man's head is on fire in the crowd, so let's hope it's the former.
What's that? What's that one called again? That's the world thing with Jiggy. My son was into that for a while. Can't remember the name of it.
Well, let's hope that Jason Roy can go Super Saiyan.
Dear.
As that's a horrific leading top edge from Milan. He's played across the spinning ball and just gone straight up in the air. Quinny de Kock runs back, poaches it, and England in a bit of trouble. 48-2.
Fuck off! Just fuck off! On your bike, mate.
I don't think anyone can quite believe what happened there, can they? I mean, he went to knock it down the leg side, and suddenly it was above his head and heading upwards.
He got through it just a little bit too quick, and it caught the back corner of the toe, didn't it, and just went straight up. Oh well.
That's very early. makes his way to the crease.
Well, the hero of yesterday.
Yeah.
One of them.
Our beard shouldn't touch. Move over, Amlo. I like it too much. Move over, Amlo. You're one hairy dish. I love unconditionally. It's Moeen Ali.
It is, and he will be facing up to Keshav Maharaj for 2 balls remaining of this over.
You can tell that England's struggling. They keep showing Johnny Bairstow already.
As that's down the leg side and swatted confidently by Ali. It's going to beat the fielder, running round straight away off mark the 4.
And if you kids can't listen, then you bound to see the way you get shot for crossing a boundary, crossing a boundary.
That was a poor ball.
It was poor, but again, you know, what he did so brilliantly last night, it's just effortless, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is just help round the corner there, just in the kind of almost laziest possible way. Amazing.
Helped with the middle of the bat. And that one's clipped into the leg side. They've gone for a quick run, and Moeen Ali is fast enough. Nicked the strike. 6 overs done. We've got 1 more before this trio is recycled out, and I'm done for the day. And possibly, how many are there in this series?
3, I think. Is it the third on Sunday? Or
third on Sunday. Last one on Sunday, and then we have.
Then I'm done for the series after this, and I'll see you all for the test match.
Yes, and I'm done after today, and I'll be back for the test match. Right, so this is probably not the forum for this. Obviously, I could not find out, but I'm ashamed to admit this. I have no idea what the ranking points mean. I just look at the averages and strike rate. Well, that's kind of all you really have to do.
Is that from the ICC, that tweet?
That's from Jay, but it might as well be the ICC. He also says,
Saurabh Ganguly has tweeted in.
Yeah, he also says, I use Morgan as the Babadook for my nephew's bedtime stories. As I mentioned yesterday, if the man's out of the kingdom, well, fuck off. Okay.
Tabraiz Shamsi.
Tabraiz Shamsi
is on.
Now, he bowled really well in the first ODI and has steadily got worse as the series has gone on for me.
And I say, hey, Tabraiz Shamsi.
Here comes the left arm leg spinner. And that's cut by Ali out into the deep for just the 1. There is obviously another lane for a left arm spinner, which we're not allowed to use it. Left arm leg spinner.
Who was the band that did that song?
Oh,
it was girls in purple jackets with top hats, is what I've seen to people playing guitars.
No idea.
Oh yeah.
4 non-blondes apparently.
4 non-blondes. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
As Shamsi is fiddling about with his field, I miss his magic. You know, we've all seen that clip of him with the rod and the handkerchief, and you know, I miss that. Apparently, he's a big magic fan. As Roy trots down the pitch, clips back for the square to fine leg, short fine leg. He'll get through for a single.
Good for Roy here. Roy strikes me as he's almost like the person who everyone's been sacked from work, and even though he's useless at his job, he's still there and can't believe his luck.
Yes.
He's just got that look and holy crap, I can make it to the 6th wicket here.
Yeah.
Shamsi in, Ali on the back foot. There's a bit of turn there, just straightened, and he's punched it out into the offside for a single. We saw a minute ago the current run rate for England is 8 and over, and the required is at 11.
Yeah, I think England need to be at about 85 and not lose another wicket by the end of the 10th to stand a chance.
As in comes Shamsi, and Roy clears the front leg and pulls it hard, but there is a man down there, and I think they'll get through for just the 1. Is it just me, and without meaning to be cruel, but has Tabraiz Shamsi put on a little bit of weight around the middle?
He's a bit of a chunker. He's always been that way.
Yeah, well, he does look as though he's having a Christmas and an outstanding Easter. Yeah. I mean, it really, I agree. I think he has.
He does look a little foxy. As Ali bumps it back past him, not too far away from his outstretched hand, and also not too far away from the fielder, but sufficiently far away from each of them to get 4.
It's me, says she. It's me, says she.
I think also the thing with Shamsi, I know we shouldn't be drawing attention to people's weight, bearing in mind the other tweets, but I think because of the oddity of his bowling action where his hands are down, it draws attention to his bulk when he actually delivers, because he's kind of almost forced towards the camera.
The pristine physical specimens that we are.
Exactly, of course.
That's how he chips that off the back foot out to long on. And that's the end of the over. That's the end of my stint in my series. Thank you very much to all of you for listening, and I'll see you, thank God, for the proper test matches in a couple of weeks.
Indeed. Max is supposed to come over and take from me. Here he comes. I'll give you this last tweet before we have a little switch. Can we just fuck this T20 bull crap off and get to the test, says Mog. And on that note, I shall pass over to Max, Jason and Jules.
Hello, Jules.
Hello. What have I missed? What's gone on here? I see Roy still in, just about.
Yes, he's eating up balls that Johnny Bairstow would be smashing over the boundary, and putting pressure on all his other co-batsmen, I think.
No, get his 50. And the test match style, though.
Right, we're back on, and Maharaj continues, and it's cut away to the boundary by Moeen Ali. The fielder out there returns to the wicketkeeper's end, and they come back for 2 runs. Hello, both. Where do we sit with England's start so far?
Pedestrian.
It's a bit too slow for my liking. I think they need to up the rate quite a bit to get themselves in there.
Fired down the leg side by Maharaj, and that will be given as a wide. Corrects the line this time, just outside off stump, and Moeen Ali tickles this down to deep mid-on, and they come through for a single.
And I think you picked it up there, Jason, by having Joe Roy at the top. He's just putting the pressure on the other batters. I think he could do us all a favour and get out, or do us all a favour for the rest of the series, and try and get some runs and build up his confidence again.
There's been no miraculous renaissance for Jason Roy today so far, but he's forward and sweeping one that's back of a length, but there is a man out there. He strikes it nicely, but just goes to the fielder on the bounce, so just the 1 run there for probably the best he's hit the ball all day. Maybe that'll give him a bit of confidence.
It doesn't look like it though, as he's swearing at himself.
He's a frustrated and perplexed man at the moment, isn't he? As Moeen Ali's back to this one from Maharaj, and again just tapping down to the man at deep mid-on for another single. So just ticking over in this particular over, but no fireworks as yet.
Ticking being the appropriate word when you're talking about Joe Roy, I think.
He is very much ticking, isn't he? And this is thrown wide outside off stump, and Jason Roy's down on one knee and driving handsomely to the cover boundary, and that will make him feel a lot better, I suspect.
There's not one boy for me, I must have 2 or 3, I need 4.
So much so it brings his strike rate up to 100.
Hey. I mean, Russo's strike rate wasn't something like 174, I think, by the end of his innings. Oh, hello.
Jason Roy's clearly renewed vigour after that boundary, and has attempted it was more a full-on switch hit, wasn't it, rather than a reverse sweep, and not quite got hold of it. Dribbled out to the man at point. Did they run a single on that one? Or was
no,
it
I think he got sent back, and there was a bit of an awkward thumbs up from Roy.
Not as awkward as the dancing from the man in the stand that we're being treated to by the TV pictures. Less of that, please. Anyway, end of the over. 72 for 2 off 8, and Jason.
Jay Govers with us. He says, "Hang on, I just came back from the loo." He just says, "Oh, F off, Jay. What did I do? What did I say?" I don't think it's you, Jay. I think it's another Jay. What possibly me?
Shamsi's back in. It's outside off stump, and this is beautifully played away, square to the offside boundary by Moeen Ali. Just caressed off the back foot, and it's made its way nicely to the boundary.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We're going to be critical of the fielder there? Not sure. A straighter from Shamsi, just tucked into the leg side, and they'll come through for another single by Marinelli.
What, you mean the unnecessary dive by Ngidi?
We were talking about his bulk earlier. Maybe that's restricted him from stopping that one in the infield. Was it? Do you think that was all for show? Look, I tried.
I don't think Ngidi's a big lad. I think I've missed this.
Shamsi in, and that's sliced high up into the air by Jason Roy, and it's taken very well, actually, by, who is that? Reza Hendricks again, second catch of the match for him, and Jason Roy's torturous stay at the crease is over once again. A slightly better strike rate of 20 of 22 today, but still not looking good.
You silly little boy, what on earth were you playing at? No!
Yeah, I think it was when he came in to bowl the second over of the day. The comments were that Lungi Ndidi looked like he'd been down the gym.
Oh. Well, there you go. There's not much you can add to it. I heard the Shamsi one. I thought, well, he's never been a little guy. But
no, maybe he just needs to go up a size in South Africa trousers and hide some of it. I don't know. Anyway.
Moving swiftly on to the new batter.
Yes, it is. It's the pair at the crease now that did all of the damage yesterday. It is this man.
Johnny Best is smarter than the average besto. Johnny Best has been this good since daycare, so all put on your wigs and let the crimson hand blow. I want the Pope to give him his own large prayer. Oh, he can hit the sixes.
So how far do these two need to take us if we're going to see an England win today?
Yeah, it depends which Livingston turns up today, I think.
That's
the one
true.
who can hit sixes everywhere, or the one who just spoons it straight up in the air.
Well, it's what looks like a googly first up to Johnny Berto from Shamsi, and he's defended with the outside edge out to the offside, and there's no run. Yeah, I think the Livingston we've seen so far has mainly been in the one days, isn't it? And it's not. I'm not sure with the way England were batting before he came in, as Shamsi's in, and it's driven forward by Johnny Bairstow to the deep extra cover, and they'll just walk through for a single. Yeah, the role that Livingston was needing to play in that one-day side, probably not ideal, given England were regularly about 80 for 4. He's not the man you want really to come in and rebuild your innings, is he?
No, he's not the most reliable of batters.
He's reliable for entertainment. Just might be a little brief.
Yes, short time and a good time.
Final ball of the over then from Shamsi, coming over the wicket to the left-handed Moeen, and he is back and punching down the ground to mid-on, and they'll come through for another single. So good over for South Africa that. Or was it? I don't know. Maybe getting rid of Jason Roy's not the thing they want to do. But either way, it's 79 for 3 off of 9 overs, and over to the socials.
Leah says, "I'm back. Give all your best wishes, Ajit, of course. Now let's see what the South African attack can do here." And Mogg says, in his own inimitable style, "Jules, has anyone ever measured your actual mega wattage of your smile? It's frigging blinding."
Just a happy person.
And Just Ideal says, "England lose a wicket and the odds tighten." Hashtag JRoy.
Indeed. And Maharaj into Moeen Ali, and once again Moeen Ali tucks it into the leg side for a single. Seems to be his go-to shot so far today, which will bring the new man Johnny Bairstow on strike, who's got a bit to do for England here. But if there's a man to do it, it's got to be YJB.
He's like a man possessed at the moment. It's so good to see.
I really loved after that. I think it was possibly the third New Zealand Test as he's back, and tapping into the leg side of Maharaj and coming through for a single. I think it was the third one. I don't know. What you forget with the number of times Bairstow's blasted England to a fourth innings victory in the Test cricket. But they were talking to Ben Stokes afterwards, and he said he had the Johnny eyes, and when he's got the Johnny eyes, something's about to happen. As Moeen Ali is back and sliding is Peffer-Quayo at the mid-on boundary, almost fumbles it over, but he just about manages to retrieve it, and they come back for a second. But you sort of know exactly what he means, don't you, when he says the Johnny eyes. He does have that stare.
I'd use to say to Stokes.
That's true. What better man to identify it? And once again, the Moeen smokes it out to the guy at deep mid on, and he's done well actually, Peffer-Quayo there, and to stop it as he sort of slid a little too far past the ball, changes direction, and stops the boundary. So good bit of fielding there from the South African, and it's just the one run to the total.
I thought there was a repeat there of the actual same ball from before, but I realised it's like literally the same thing happening twice.
And full from Maharaj, and Bairstow drives to the man on the boundary and again walks through very slowly for the one run. No chance of pushing a two there to the short straight boundary.
Do you get the sense here they're just sort of playing through the spinners, take the singles, and then start targeting the quicker ones?
Yeah. Quite a lot of spin to come, isn't there? Well, this is a leading edge from Moeen Ali. It's gone straight up in the air, but cleared the wicketkeeper, and Rabada chased back down to the boundary to return that for a welcome two. So no boundaries off that over, but still a few from it. 86 is the score at 10 overs.
Billy Bond says quite somewhat uncharitably, Roy and Malan should just F off. Wasted batting space at the moment.
Didn't Malan do really well yesterday? Or
he got 40 yesterday.
Yeah. Fairly quick time.
I'm just wondering the pace of the running between the wickets. I don't recall Moeen has been a particularly quick runner, so maybe stopping Johnny from trying to push the twos.
I don't think Moeen's a terrible runner. It's not like you've got someone like Ravi Bopara out there.
Or Samit Patel, who literally retired himself out so they had someone quicker to run the last ball of the match. So 86 for 3 at the halfway stage. I'm pretty sure I heard someone, I think maybe Bear earlier, say that the England need to be at least 85 for 3 at the halfway stage to have a chance. So we're exactly there, pretty much.
That's an optimistic chance, though. I like it, but it's an optimistic chance.
Yeah. So what is it? 12 and over for the last 10. It'll take some getting.
Yep.
It'll take some getting.
I slightly missed the conversation earlier, but was there a bit of a discussion about Will Jacks coming into the T20 side?
Well, I think it's a missed opportunity. They haven't put him into any squad this summer to have a look at him before a potential spot in the World T20 later on.
Yeah, it was reactionary to someone mentioning Alex Hales. I think we should be past Alex Hales now.
Yeah, wherever there's bad things in cricket, there's Alex Hales. I still don't understand how he got involved in that whole Yorkshire situation last year, but he did. Where there's bad news, there's Alex Hales.
But yeah, Will Jacks is going from strength to strength, it seems. But as a Surrey fan, I don't want him anywhere near the England team. They've got enough. There's 4 already in this side. Ridiculous.
Hey, if you're going to produce quality as a county, they're going to get taken.
Yep.
Although it did make me laugh during the blast where the Yorkshire fans were kicking up saying, all our players are playing for England. And you're like, well, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
If you've seen Surrey, they're completely depleted.
It was a real disappointment that it wasn't the two strongest, well, both counties putting out their strongest sides for that quarter-final, but not as disappointing as the final over. As Shamsi's back into Johnny Bairstow, who makes himself a platform to smash this one out to the man who is waiting at square leg. So just the one run, despite the well-struck nature of the shot. And
what are you saying about the last over? It was a great last over, just not for the committed Surrey supporter.
Oh, it was just
for the neutrals, it was fantastic.
No. No one wanted it. Marinelli rocks back and hits this one long and high, and it's an unbelievable catch on the boundary by Keshav Maharaj. He is sprinted round from, wide mid-off, deep extra cover, and in the middle of his stride has leapt full length forward and caught this on the dive. It is a stunning bit of fielding. Didn't quite get hold of it, Marinelli. He was rocking back and playing that shot down the ground, and it's a really, really good grab from Maharaj, and he's celebrated like he knows it's a really good grab, and that is, another nail perhaps in the England coffin, and Marinelli has got to go. I'm just got to try and find a jingle that's that's good enough for that bit of fielding. That looked like it was 4 all day long, didn't it?
Yeah, it just appeared out of nowhere, Maharaj, and poof, and there you go. It's one of those things, catches that you're thinking, actually, is there just a little bit of luck in that? Don't get me wrong, there was effort involved, but just for the ball to stick in the way it did at the tips of his fingers.
But that's when they spend all the time practicing. Because if you notice, when he catches it, he immediately extends his arms so that when he lands on the floor, they don't jar his elbows and knock the ball out again. So they practice these things now, whereas we used to just be glad that we got it, caught it in the first place, and then worry about when we hit the ground afterwards.
Yeah.
And spilled it out, yeah. Coach Hiscock.
Right, the new batsman is not on strike, so I won't jingle him up just yet, but Shamsi follows that wicket up with a pretty nasty wide down the leg side.
Wide.
I mean, I think the relay catches really shows the example of those the practice that they put in now. It's just, it was used to be a thing of beauty before, and now you just sort of expect it as Johnny Bairstow plays this into the offside, and it's returned flat on the bounce to the wicketkeeper. One might suspect there's an attempt to rough the ball up there with that kind of throwing. There used to be a time when the umpires would tell them off for that, but I think they've just given up now, haven't they? They just let them get on with it. Anyway, it is the new man on strike, and it is not Liam Livingstone, but it is Jacob's favourite cricketer.
Is he a batter or bowler? Sam Curran. What's his distinguishing feature? Sam Curran. He starts from to
Plays back defensively to his first ball, and there is no run.
Right, gents, why have you brought Curran in instead of Livingstone?
I suspect the plan is Livingstone comes in from like the 13th over onwards. I don't know. I mean, we're not far away from that now, but Sam Curran's shuffling forward, looking for a single on the offside, and there will be an overthrow. We all love an overthrow. As there's a shy at the stumps that was nowhere near, and he'll come through for a second. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Bringing in Curran. Is it again the left-hand thing? Do you think with Maharaj and Shamsi on, want to keep the left-right combination?
I think it's potentially a match-up against left-handers. It's also he's good down the ground, and it's short, straight at Cardiff, so that might also be a factor as well.
I mean, he's been as much a batter as anything this year for Surrey, and you said he's strong down the ground. He's come down the wicket and he's hit one down the ground straight to the fielder on the boundary, to Maharaj, who takes his second catch in double quick time, and it was short and not very sweet from Sam Curran, and he will be departing for 2 runs off 3 balls, and it's all going wrong.
Silly little boy, what on earth were you playing at? Oh.
Visions of Jacob just being very smug at the moment.
That was just Sam Curran making things happen. That's what that was.
You couldn't have picked a more appropriate jingle there. Little boy being silly.
Yeah, well, apparently I've been teed up for a fight to the death against Sam Curran for some reason. While I was in the green room for about, for the rest of the England innings and the start of the rest of the South Africa innings and the start of the England innings, there was all sorts of shit coming in on Twitter referencing me. I have no idea why. I don't know what I did, don't know what I said, but apparently I'm fighting Sam Curran, so I look forward to setting that one up.
Some tweets in the interval. Leah says, Johnny is amazing. He's the only player I'm aware of that Managed to make a pair in a limited overs game. That requires a special talent. Oh, and a super over as well. And Jay Grover says, I'm feeling quite ashamed of my solipsism here. I'm typing it really when it couldn't come to use it it doesn't reference me. F it, I'm just going to insult Jules. New haircut as a diversion tactic.
Everyone's in with some tap today. No one's safe from Jay. Right, Maharaj is back into the attack, and it is Livingston back on strike, who I will jingle up as he tucks one into the leg side for a single. I feel like I've said that quite a lot over the last few overs, but anyway, here is the new man.
I am Livingston, I play for the Lightning. My one-day kit is blue, but for the tests it's white.
And next ball on the over is driven down the ground by Johnny Bairstow, who's made a fairly circumspect start to his innings. Maharaj again, this is short, and Livingston rocks back and tries to muscle this away, but doesn't quite get hold of it, and it's fielded by, that looks like Norkir on the boundary, so he must be on for someone. And again, another one to the total. 95 for 5 is the score, and the target looking ever more unlikely.
This looks like an absolutely different pitch to the one that South Africa were playing on.
It does, doesn't it? From the very start, it looks a bit like that. Maharaj chucked in a full toss there, and another really good bit of fielding there on the boundary. I think that's Reza Hendricks down there, diving across and stopping the boundary. Another difference, I think, point of difference, aside from being better at batting today, between South Africa and England, has been that fielding. Although I think he's brushed the boundary rope there as he stopped it. So I was too early in my praise, and it will actually be 4 runs. Haven't had one of those for a while either. Oh, it's wide to Johnny Bairstow. He's had a go at it. He perhaps should have let it go because it was very wide, and in the end it's fallen just short of the man, short third man. Oh, that's a mouthful. And they sneak through for a single. Should have thought about what I was saying there as I started. Got a bit tripped up there.
Sentence.
Last ball of the over then from Maharaj, and it's full and driven by Livingston. Man round at cover to come and cut that off. So they'll just take the single. Keep Livingston on strike. 101 for 5. The equation is 107 from 48 balls.
For that, YouTube, Pat Parson 52 says, "Don't drop Jason Roy. It would ruin Surrey's season."
Getting back for the one-day cup.
His pal Roy would be obligated to select him for Surrey. It would only help Hampshire. And Dara Azizi says, talking about the Maharaj catch, one of our fielders would have dropped that. I think, to be fair, most of South Africa's fielders would have dropped that yesterday, but they all seem to be on a good fielding day today.
Yeah, I think South Africa's fielding has been far, far sharper this evening compared to England's, which was a bit slapdash.
Yeah, definite role reversal, I would say. So the trial by spin continues as it is Shamsi to finish off his 4. That was Maharaj's last over of his allotted 4. 1 for 37 is what he finished with. Slightly more expensive than I thought it would have been, but Shamsi 3 for 21 from his 3. He's doing rather nicely indeed, and Livingston is driving down to mid on, a little uppish. There's a hint of a dive from the bowler, but no real danger as they come through for a single.
You just get the sense if we can see off the spinner's hair, or England can see off the spinner's hair, then Livingston Bairstow can then take it to the quicker bowlers, but I mean, we shall see.
Possibly, yeah, a couple of big overs as Bairstow's off the back foot and playing this into the offside. Looked like it kept a tad low there or it could just be that Bairstow was playing back to one that was a bit fuller. Either way, it's another single, and I think certainly a sign that England are content just to see off Shamsi here, which is maybe not a bad idea, as Livingston's back. Flicks into the leg side, they're pushing for 2, but the man on the boundary is wise to it, is in quickly enough, and he will cut that off. So just another single to the total.
You do get the feeling that Livingston against slow bowlers has to make all the pace himself, and he'd be much happier if the pace bowlers were on where he could use their pace to his advantage.
Yeah, I think definitely more comfortable against pace, as this time they do succeed in tapping that 2 into the leg side. Very well run by those two. 106 for 5 now the score.
Livingston actually had a decent innings. I'm just trying to think of this season so far.
He's had a couple of cameos in the one days, I think, but nothing to the extent that he is capable of. So arguably overdue. He says, hopefully, as Shamsi sends one down that dips late on Johnny Bairstow and ends up yorking him. So dot ball there, nicely bowled. 1 ball left of Shamsi's spell, as the England batters will no doubt be delighted to hear.
You do realise, Max, that the reverse commentator's curse never works.
You can try, can't you? As it's thrown outside the off stump and driven down the ground for another single to Johnny Bairstow. So that is it for Shamsi. He gets applause and thanks from his captain David Miller, and finishes with figures of 3 for 27 from his 4 overs. Very well bowled by him, and certainly put a stopper on any hope England had of accelerating in those middle overs. And over to you, Jason.
Leah comes back and says, "Yeah, relax. The game is only lost if the required run rate creeps above 36. And Ravi Nair says, "I want Italy North End and Jules to have a baby off. So far, Katie's Miranda, it's Matilda, I think, is the cutest kid I've ever seen. Does Jules dare to compete?"
I'm not going to get into baby wars. All babies are quite cute.
Right, there is a change of bowling. Pefler is back on. Are we also due a change in the commentary? Once again, confused around the 13 to 14 over mark. I'm not sure if there's one more to go, or we're supposed to change now. I don't know. I'll let Bear decide. And in the meantime, I'll just carry on talking.
As we were.
No one is stomping at the gate, I think, at the moment.
Well, he started with a wide that is so wide it should be worth 2, but that's not the rules. So I think England have got to target this over.
Yeah, 100%, especially given the first over went for 16?
Yeah, all in the first 3 first 3 or 4 balls, and there's a chase on out to the boundary, and the ball wins it as Bairstow cuts this away firmly, and that's a good start in England's quest to catch up.
There's not one boy for me, I must have 2 or 3, I need 4.
Very nicely played by Bairstow there. The sort of square drive / front foot cut kind of thing. So 5 off the first delivery of the over, and it's a better comeback from Pefler. It's driven at, it's wide, it's full, and it's missed by Bairstow through the keeper, and no run.
Bairstow's getting his frustration face on, which means one of 2 things: he'll either mentally get much out. I have a feeling he might get very much out.
Well, let's hope it's the former rather than the latter. As he's in, he shuffles across a little bit. He's tried to hit that extremely hard, and not quite got hold of it, but it's gone out to the man down at Deepwood Wicket, and they're able to come back for 2 thanks to the miss hit nature of the shot. So not too bad. But boundary certainly the order of the day from here, you think.
So, predictions.
I think England have a brief cameo, making it look like they might pull something off, and then it'll all just collapse in a heap.
Yeah, lose by 25, I think.
That's dished out wide and smashed back at the bowler by Bairstow, but unfortunately for him, it's a dot ball. Looked like a painful one, fielding that in the follow through, but the important thing for South Africa is that it is a dot ball, and it would have been a wide if he'd left it.
What's the culling plan there that he did get a hit so hard at Pepler Quayle that he injured him and they had to bowl a unexpected sixth bowler?
Yeah, Tristan Stubbs maybe. And this is again wide, and this is crashed down the ground. That's another brilliant bit of fielding. It's David Miller this time with a Superman dive to cut off the 4. That's a fine bit of work, and very important backing up of the bowler. He's really hit that, Johnny Bairstow. And yeah, nothing to say but another really good bit of fielding. David Miller on the dive round and stops the ball going for 4.
Yeah.
So not a bad over so far, and Livingston looks like he's attempting to break his back swinging through this. He's outside edged it. There is no man back there at third man, so it will be 4 runs to the total.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So it's a decent over from England so far. A couple of boundaries. There was the wide, there was the 2 in there. So yeah, getting there. Perhaps not the big over that they were hoping for, but I think there's still a chance.
And it's time for a change, guys.
It is.
Jules, thanks very much for being on. Pleasure to see you.
Lovely to see you too. Take care, everyone.
Yeah, you too.
Laters.
See ya. Do you want to do that switcheroo? Can you remember how to do it? That's it. No, you got to do 2 on the bottom too.
Yeah, that always catches me out.
See, there you go. Perfect. You're all ready for Sunday. Right. KG's coming back into the attack. Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. England are going to fuck this up, aren't they? They're going to have a couple of big sixes. We're all going to get hopeful, and then it's going to fall apart. There's no one left in the hutch, is there?
No, Chris Jordan. Chris Jordan did do some damage for again. I'll keep bringing up Surrey. I'm really sorry, but he did hit like 70 or 80 for Surrey in the blast, and he's done a bit for England.
He can do it every once in a while, but you don't want him too far out, do you? That's down leg side. Should be a wide. Caught in the end of Quinton de Kock's fingers, and he finally realises the pain.
Yeah,
and it will be a wide.
I know all about that.
Yeah, exactly.
What was the last tweet, by the way, Jason?
It's in the chat. It was Jay
Grover.
Grover.
Thank you very much.
Of course it was Jay. It's feeling conversational this evening. I think that caught him on the end of the thumb.
That's going to hurt.
Yeah, that
for
is
a long
going to hurt.
time.
Yeah. Ravada in again. Oh, now that's the shot you see on the advert from what's her name?
Yes.
Through her legs. What?
Yeah.
Who's on the advert? The lady who cuts it through her legs?
I can't remember her name.
Nat Siver.
Is it Nat Siver? Yes, and she's practicing it in the thing, and then it goes through her legs, and that's exactly what it was. It was virtually Yorker.
Number of the day. Who could ask for more? The number of the day is 4.
And he's jabbed it and nutmegged himself.
He's meant that.
He has meant that.
That's cracking.
That's the only
That's
shot
a
he could.
really
That's
good
the only shot he could really play and get any runs. It's a great shot. And that one he's drilled straight back down the ground. That's going to be 4 more. Mid off is up.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
What do they need off the last over to give themselves a chance? 24, 25? Even that's a stretch, isn't it?
Sub 20, I reckon.
You reckon sub 20? You give yourself a chance if you're in the low 20s, I reckon. More often than not, you're not going to get there anyway.
Have a realistic chance you'd want 15.
That'd be a very realistic chance, 15. I mean, these two are capable of getting them there. And that's uppercut into the night sky and caught by Ngidi down at the short third man. Johnny Bairstow trying to be clever and uppercut. And then Ngidi's thrown in and hit his mate KG. He's tried to uppercut it. It's a bit of a slower ball. He didn't really get anything on it. He's dabbed it up in the air, and KG's run back from the edge of the circle and caught it over his shoulder. It was a pretty ungainly catch, but he's out!
Now you're gone.
He sort of slapped it against his chest.
I know, he kind of overrun it a bit, didn't he? He didn't really know where it was, it felt like. Caught Ngidi, bowled Rabada, 30, 21 balls faced. Not bad by Johnny B, but this game, it was lost quite a while ago, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that's the value of the slower bouncer, because you can't. The full pace bouncer, that would have been well over him.
Yeah.
But the slower bouncer, that you have to put the pressure on, pace on the uppercut yourself.
Yeah, Warren called it bearish game.
Bearish game. It's looking a bearish game.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know. Livingston could come. I want to see Livingston's as explosive as Butler. And they sent, is that Adil Rashid they sent in? No, it's Chris Jordan. I was going to say, Christ. Chris Jordan is in.
That would be a left field choice.
It would be a left field choice. Adil's not bad though. Mind you, probably hardly ever bats. Don't worry about it. That's driven out through the covers by, I presume, Livingston. It'll be 4 runs.
Indeed.
Basically, the power's gone. And if it was earlier in the game, I wouldn't bother about it. But as we're in the last 5 overs, it doesn't mean anything's lost. It means it's all underneath on this screen, basically. Or it might be over there and you can't see it, but it doesn't really matter. I'll fiddle around with it at the end. And it's a no ball! We're going to get a free hit too! Ooh. So we've had 4-4 wide 4. No ball.
1, 2 or 3 there.
What do you mean? Oh. Free hit, 2. Don't know.
Good choice.
When they saying they scored, they crossed, it's 4. Can they change the field? I never know what the rule is on this.
If they've crossed, they can, but it was 4 runs, so same field.
Okay, Rabada in and slower ball, and Livingston just drops it out on the offside. Well, it came out the back of the hand, he's indicating. You might as well just have a swing at it. You can't be out, can you? Anyway, gets a single, 13 off 7.
He still looks a lot happier against pace bowling ever since the spinners have been finished their spells.
Yeah, well, I think most teams are generally.
He's not bad against spin, but he is noticeably better against pace.
Yes. Well, Jordan. He can certainly hit a long ball, can Chris Jordan. But he hasn't faced a ball yet. He's going to face his first one against Rabada. He would have faced him a few times, I guess, in the IPL. Cuts that nicely out through the back of point. No one out there. Beats the man in the back of the circle. Races away. Strike rate of 400. Sweet. .71 required off 5 overs. It's a long way off. Need a huge over of high 20s, early 30s. 4 6s in an over. And a 4 would be a decent over.
Right, it's me, isn't it? I'm doing it. I'm on Twitter. Jay Grover, no relevance to cricketing ability, but my parents' neighbours have these wee goblins with a link to Google that look a wee bit like Jason Roy. Mog, counterpoint, all babies look alike and are basically featureless grubs. I think it's quite a widely held opinion, that. Leah, I like babies, I just couldn't eat a whole one. Now. Back on.
Well, that's smashed by Liam Livingston.
Perfect jingle for that.
Yeah, out through wide
That
off.
went like a tracer bullet.
I'm not sure Fetlaquaya is the man you want to be bowling in the 15th over. But you've still got 2 overs to bowl after this.
Well, I'd rather have 15th than the 19th.
Well, true, but he's got to bowl the 15th and the 17th.
Yeah. Well, they're the ones they got to target, aren't they?
Yeah. They certainly got to target him. They targeted him the other night. and they made hay of him. That's not the first bad one. Fetlaquire again. Oh, has he gone? He has as well. Liam Livingston fails, deceives to flatter once more. Smashes one down there, gets out for 18 off 10. Good strike rate, but just not there long enough and not enough shots. And another one bites the dust.
Another one bites the dust. I think that is going to be out, Fred. Another one bites the dust.
Yeah.
I mean, well, we criticised the choice of bowl Fetlaquire, but he took some tap and got rid of Josh Butler. He took some tap and got rid of
Livingston. Yeah, he did indeed. And that's game done. 67 required of 28 balls. All the hitters done. Basically down to Jordan, and presumably it's Adil Rashid in next.
Yes. Yep. It's hard to say not to go after that ball, but it was so wide. It could have potentially been given a wide.
Well, I'm not sure it was actually wide, but by exactly that. It's got to go out of the park. Everything's pretty much got to go out to the boundary. Maharaj is having a chat with his bowler. Well, it's not his bowler because Miller's supposed to be the captain, but Maharaj is doing all the chat.
Yeah, well, Maharaj has been the captain, isn't he? So.
Yeah, he was for the ODIs.
Yep. Anyway, here is the new man.
Adil Rashid on the 45. Adil Rashid on the 45. Adil Rashid on the 45. Adil Rashid on the 45.
You're going to get your wish for a Sunday, aren't you?
Yeah, certainly.
It's going to be a decider.
Going to be a decider. Faux jeopardy.
Yep, very much faux jeopardy. Fetlaquire's in, cut by Adil Rashid, out towards third man. He didn't really get much on it. They'll come back for two though. Is that Maharaj down there now?
I didn't see, I must be honest.
Weird. I swear he was down at long on or long off or something. Maybe
Two
not.
catches at long on. Earlier.
Yeah, exactly. That second one was an absolute blinder, wasn't it? That's going to be a wide. Thrown up too wide by Fetlaquire. That's what he tried the other day and got battered. That's 63 miles an hour, very slow.
He can do what he wants now, though, can't he?
Yeah, he can do. Adil Rashid, man with 8 first-class centuries to his name. I think that's 8. That's another wide.
He can do what he wants. You can't bowl 63 wides, though. That would.
Well, 63 wides would lose him the game. And in fact, with 5 overs to spare, nearly, it wouldn't be a wide.
And go on to about midnight.
Yes. True. We've gone a long time. He's going to bowl to Adil Rashid now. Well, it is a third one in a row.
Oh, I've got to jingle one of these, haven't I?
Yeah, you might as well.
Yeah.
So we've had.
Very consistent, though.
We've had 10 off 3 balls. 9 off 3 balls.
All 3 wides in exactly the same place.
Yeah. He's very consistent. He's trying to hit the blue line. I don't think you really need to against Adil Rashid, do you?
Not really.
Well, this time Adil Rashid goes across his stumps and hits it with no force into the leg side. They think about 2. But whoever, I think it's Tabriz Shamsi from behind square, gets round quick enough to stop that. Still, 4-2-10 off 4 balls. Not enough. What do we need in over?
15.
15.
Yeah, 15-ish.
So 6 will keep us in the hunt from here. Chris Jordan capable of that. Strong lad. Facing up as Fetlaquire comes in and he smashes it square. 2 square, I think, out to the cover fielder. Needs to get it behind square to get the boundary. Stubbs out there and it'll be a single. Fetlaquire's running back to his mark. Do you think they're running out of time? Did they get fined if they didn't go over the overs? Yesterday they were about 10 minutes behind.
You lose half your match.
Oh no, that's right, you have to bring a player in, don't you?
Yes. Oh, are they doing that rule?
Yes, they are doing that rule because they had to do it yesterday.
I really like that rule.
I think it's a good rule.
Really like it.
Yeah, I do too. Fetlaquire in, bowls Adil Rashid round his legs as he goes right across his stump. I think it was a slow ball. Yeah, it was 63 miles an hour. You can't blame Adil Rashid. He's trying to find a gap, and there probably is a gap over the man short on a 45, but he's out.
So get on your bike and take a hike right out of here.
That was actually a pad, wasn't it?
Your history, no good for me. Your history, nah, 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 nah.
Well, that leaves us with Reece Topley and the other dude, the geography teacher.
Richard Gleeson.
Neither of which is renowned for holding a bat.
No, very much not.
Except to walk on and a walk off.
Yeah, well, with bat tucked underarm. Well, hopefully they'll get bowled in 2 balls and we can get this done. I certainly don't want it to last the entire rest of the innings. That would be a disaster.
Let's try and sneak in a couple of quotes, shall we? Where about Mog, the bear and his young apprentice? Yeah, this again, brilliant. Jake over. Well, I just stopped my toe whilst trying to find comparison pictures of Jason Roy and a French bulldog. There's probably not enough blood for a sacrifice, but I did say, ow, not all of us can snort in Nakatomi Plaza. Okay. Ravi, so today is an almost exact mirror image of yesterday. Our fielding was shit, while the Safa fielding is on point. Yep. GC Radio, Nate, what? A plot for a dubious film in response to something. I hope it's not the bear and his young apprentice, but I dare say it might be.
It probably is. No, the GC porn bot.
And we're back.
Ngidi is going to come in. He's bowling to Chris Jordan. Slower ball outside his off stump. Swishes his bat, misses it through the keeper, and there's no run. 60 required off 24 balls. We're doing slightly worse than they did yesterday, and they made a bit of a fist of it, I think. But
I really enjoyed that comparison they did earlier with the split screen of Ngidi bowling his slower ball and his normal pace ball, and it looked exactly the same.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
It's very effective. He's up to crease now, bowling to Chris Jordan. That one's the quicker one. And there's an appeal from behind, it's been given. Don't bother reviewing it, Jordan, if you don't think you hit it, just walk off. Is he going to review it? Oh, he's fucking reviewed.
Review it. Oh well.
It's pointless. Just walk off. Save us time.
I was definitely in. Were you definitely in? I don't know.
Well, Ngidi and Quinton de Kock seem pretty sure. It's not always good indicator. What else could it have been? It couldn't have been anything else. It's miles away. The ball was miles away from the body. If anything, it's got the toe.
Yeah, the way the ball sort of looks like it's slowed up. Looks like it's.
Where are we going to go?
Something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hit the toe. It's hit the back of the toe on its way through to the keeper. He's threw his shot way too early. Eyes were on the ball. It's a good shot. His eyes were definitely focused on the ball. He just missed it, Chris. Well, you didn't actually miss it. He was got too little of it. Yeah, slower ball again. Slower ball bouncer. And he is out. England 148 for 9. He has to walk off. And this is done. Top league is going to come out.
You flipping muppet!
That was for reviewing it.
Well, doesn't matter, does it? What, you're going to give it to Topley? Here, have a review, Reece. Total waste. I still can't believe that they have 2 reviews in these games. Seems absurd to have 2 reviews, even if you've got non-neutral umpire on one end. Two reviews in a T20. I mean, they hardly ever got used in the IPL, and then when they should have used them, they never did.
There was an array of questions.
It's a hangover from COVID games, but I think give it a year and it might be reverted back to 1.
Yeah, because they're still doing 3 in the test, aren't they? Even though they've got.
Yeah, but I think they've only got 1 neutral umpire in the test, haven't they? I think they're trying to. I think part of the sort of trade-off here going forward is as Ngidi comes in, and Reece Topley hit that quite sweetly. It was a slow ball, but he managed to pick it up, hooked it out to Cow, and only get a single. I think part of the trade-off is I think a lot of the umpires were complaining about being away for so long.
Well, I don't think. Why? What's the point in having neutral umpires anymore? Right?
Well, with exactly. Well, with DRS, it does make it a little bit moot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because I mean, you couldn't have shackle ruiner because if every time you got one wrong, it would be proved wrong, and you get to keep your review and so endlessly he'll be get proven wrong. It's a wide down the leg side. There's an appeal from Ngidi for a catch, but the umpires are not having any of it.
It's one of those
He's given a wide.
genius trick appeals to make the umpire think it wasn't a wide.
Well, it looks like they're going to review it as well.
Are they
They're going to review it? They are bloody
God.
reviewing it.
No, I'm not jingling that. That's just silly. Frivolous.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, I guess. I mean, I don't mind more reviews. But in T20, I mean, I don't mind 2 in an ODI, but T20 it just seems too long to have 2. Whether neutral or not neutral. Well, we're going to have a look at this. Down the leg side. Could be. It's certainly nowhere near the pad. They must have heard a noise.
It's a good take by De Kock.
Yeah, maybe
going away from.
I think that's bat on ground. I think
could be. We'll have a look when they decide to roll it up. Yeah, but here we go. Oh, well, the bat's not on the ground, and there is an edge.
Yeah.
That's it. Game over.
Good review.
Gleeson
Well
is caught down the leg side. It's not going to be a wide. It's going to be out. Richard Gleeson, was that his first ball? I think it was, wasn't it?
I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
It was indeed.
It was his first.
It's
Golden. He's had a pretty poor day actually, Gleeson. He didn't bowl particularly well.
Yeah.
Dropped a catch, and he's now got out for naught. He lost us the game, mate.
It's all your fault.
It's all your fault.
Then he waddled away, waddle, waddle.
Sir, I can't believe you cost us the game.
Yeah. Don't go back to your students tomorrow.
Summer holidays now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. It is summer holidays.
Finally.
Yeah, well, I should know that. The kids are all at home. They're just bleeding me dry of money. Every day it's, Dad, can I have a tenner? I go here. Dad, can I have a tenner? I go there. It's like, fucking hell, man. It's outrageous. Well,
the worst thing, it was only a £5 3 weeks ago.
Well,
it's inflation for you.
Exactly. South Africa win by 58 runs. What do we want to say? England were outplayed.
They were pantsed.
They were pantsed. They basically let them get away. Bit of poor bowling display. Never really got it under control. Never got the wickets early enough, which allowed South Africa to get on. South Africa should probably have got more, but 208, I think, was more than enough. And England never really got going. A couple of people smashed a couple of sixes, but there was no innings of length which would have got them through.
There were no partnerships.
Yeah, well, exactly. There wasn't. I mean, there was. Jason Roy again was pretty poor. I mean, he got 20 off 22, but doesn't really tell the whole story. Butler blazed briefly, as did Bairstow. Moen blazed briefly, but none of them really got going. So, last tweets, then we're out.
Last tweets. Fair few to catch up on, I think. Jay Grover, obviously. I hate this. Cricket as a game means a lot to me. When I find cricket dull, there's something wrong. Probably Bear's fault.
No, it's T20.
Adrian Lowe, I don't think it's worth listening while I go into the shower. Well, you never know what we might find to talk about. Nigel Henderson, was that a wide hat-trick? Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was.
The Cricket Podcast. Hello, guys. If you want to see more, come and play for IDLCC. That's I Don't Like Cricket Club sometimes. It happens every week. Yeah, they play in the North East London Cricket League, which has the questionable rule of leg side wides.
Ah, yeah, no, Jack told me there was
regularly like 35 wides a game. You know, if you had players bowling in these leagues that were good enough to deliberately bowl that difficult leg side line, they'd be bowling at the top of off. It's ridiculous. Leo, signs that Max has never seen Die Hard. He doesn't instantly recognise Nakatomi Plaza and mispronounces it. Probably because I'm trying to read tweets quickly. I have seen Die Hard. It's the best Christmas film of all time.
Thank you. Christmas film. We were on this argument yesterday.
Jay, finishing off with some good old-fashioned joshing. This makes no difference to anything, but I'm getting irrationally annoyed with Max. Wee Potter-esque public school prick. What's the Potter-esque bit? Jack's the
glasses.
Yeah. Well, Jack's the Daniel Radcliffe clone. Only messing Max. Karma is I just stabbed my pillow, and now I have to clean it up. Thank you all very much. That's all good.
It is indeed. And so you're going to get your wish, Max. It's going to be a deciding, pointless decider, but nonetheless a decider for meaningless victories procession on Sunday.
Yeah. Makes coming to the studio all the more worth it, where you can listen to some more Potter-esque public school prick.
Absolutely. Good. And where is it on Sunday? Anyone know before
I think it's back to Southampton.
Is it?
Yeah.
Third one, yep, Southampton. Any last words, Jace?
No, I think it's time for bed for everyone.
It is. I'm going to go and put
Our
some...
players need a good night's sleep, and then
particularly the England
a naughty
team.
net tomorrow.
Exactly. I'm going to roll a spliff and put some chicken wings in the oven.
That sounds like a delightful way to round off the evening.
Line up that theme tune, and we're out. See you all. Well, I will not back until the test matches, but I'll see you then, and some other people, including Max, who's running things. We'll see you on Sunday. Ta-ra!
Ta-ra!
Guerrilla crickets. Whoa. Guerrilla crickets. Whoa. Guerrilla. Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time has come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla crickets. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than rev counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pasco, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and Andy, Brendan Behan, Austin Ian, guerrilla cricket. Stick with us, cause you know we're not the kind of thing that you see on the TV and the radio. So vive la revolution. First they tried to buy us, but we would not be bought. Okay, we were, but then we ran away, and we will not be caught. Would not give up the ghost when they left us all for dead. They decapitated us, but we just grew another head. Chairman Mao, Jamie Howe, Ho Chi Minh, Asif Din, Václav Havel, Graham Saville, No Surrender, Percy Fender, Che